heard that band before. I've heard of them. Now I know why they're called Disturbed. But that was a really awesome version.
It
You
was a
definitely
not.
heard. You definitely have heard it
You
before. Have you
you
heard "Down with
had
the Sickness"?
yeah.
I don't
I
know the
mean,
title. I
well,
might have. I mean, I've
well,
heard of
no,
the
I
band.
know
I don't know.
it's funny.
I don't know
It is
their
funny.
music.
I have
So,
heard other people, lately say this is the first time they've heard them. I found the song interesting because the very first time I heard it was a while back, but I was like, "Wow, is that them old guys' song? What the hell? Let me go back and listen to this."
it's
But he's
Simon
not.
and Garfunkel.
Yeah, so when I sat down, when I sat back and listened, I was like, "Son of a bitch, that just blows the old dudes out of the water, man." I was just, and I hate to pick on him because it was a decent song when they sang it, but I mean, come on. I mean, this guy just bangs it completely out of the park.
Yep.
It's
And mostly a cappella.
yeah.
But
Carolyn,
here's something
okay.
about that song, guys. I went to church with my mom, and the priest just ridiculed them.
Of course he did,
Ridiculed
because the
that
priests are
song.
fucking evil.
They are. This guy was evil, man. They're all fucking evil. Excuse my language.
Well, it's Johnny Lee. Look, it's a good song. We played it. We play a lot of different stuff on here. Taylor Swift? No, we're not playing no Taylor Swift. No Taylor Swift. I can tell you that. No Madonna. No. Pop. It'd have to be. I don't know. Pop. Maybe Red Foo. I might play some Red Foo. Yeah, because he's just warped in it.
How about "Peace Sells" by Megadeth?
See, there we go. See, something like that. Well, people, all you got to do is pop it in any of the comment things, or if you're on one of my messengers, pop it into the. Well, no, because I'm not going looking for links, man. Get the hell out of here, people. Y'all should know that better by now. Especially if you've been with me since Pal Talk, or Yahoo, you should definitely know I'm not looking.
I remember Pal Talk.
I'm like, people, you give me the links. Well, we still had the Pal Talk chat, but
yeah.
So anyway, I want to welcome everyone to News on the Flipside. Oh wait, we got another person coming in. I'm being rude and forgot
And
this.
I think we have the wrong. I think you have the wrong banner there at the bottom.
What banner we got? That's not a good.
Yeah, that's
thing.
my banner.
What the hell your banner? What the hell is your banner doing on our? Are you
because everybody, all the other shows took up the chat, took up the stuff, so I have to use yours.
Jeez. Oh, I don't care. All right. Well,
that's what happened.
Change it. Well, one of y'all can change it. Y'all have access, but I'll change it in a minute. I just forgot we have Dave Emos coming to join us tonight, so he's going to be in. Leah said she's coming, so hopefully she'll be around. And what do you mean, Johnny? Why do we want a female? Because guys act.
It's a sausage party otherwise.
Well, no. So do you know why? I'm going to tell y'all the secret. The reason the Navy decided they wanted to put women on ships was not for any other reason but this one. Men actually act much better when there are women present. They take better care of themselves. They keep themselves clean. They take showers.
They don't curse as much or as loud.
If you just leave a bunch of guys on their own, in no time at all, it goes down.
We need supervision.
Yep.
No, that's actually big multi-million-dollar studies done by the Navy on this, and NASA does it too. NASA's done it too. So guys are by pigs natural. What can I tell you?
Studies have shown that paired couples, whether they're like same sex or opposite sex, a dating couple, a married couple, tend to do better together than they would by themselves.
There's my girl, Cindy Simpson. Good to see you, sweetheart. Good
Hello,
to see you.
Cindy Simpson. How are you?
That's my number one fan. She is my number one fan.
Okay, yes. Don't be scaring me like this with number one fans and stuff, man. We hear about these number one fans all the time.
My number one fan is right over here.
Joe, I'm your number one fan.
We don't want no number one fans. I'm just it gets scary these days. Dave, we're gonna bring.
Why were you buying turkey at the grocery store, Joe, yesterday? I didn't approve of that choice.
Yes, that's like that stupid. You see, that reminds me of that stupid commercial where the peanut butter and jelly sandwich is on the guy. I'm like, what? Who thinks of weird ass commercials like this? So the guy goes to buy a Little Caesars pizza, and his sandwich shows up to criticize him. We're living on Mars. That's all I got to tell you. Oh wait, on a weird, completely on side note, so we had an 8 billion year old signal hit our planet. 8 billion year old signal. What could this mean? Who is 8 billion years going? knock, knock. No, you see, I don't want to answer that door. That just scares me, man. Knock. No, nobody's home. Shh, everybody turn the lights on. Shh, nobody's home. We don't want to answer that signal because whatever it is, I don't know. It's
whatever it is, it's like their sun probably is gone by now.
Yeah, well, that's the bad price. That's probably true. Jamie Lee, it's what are we going with? Stars, names? Okay, that's fine. We can go with that. I don't care. Well, there's a lot of different signals that hit our planet from time to time, and then some things that hit our planet don't come back again. We've had lasers, what appears to be lasers that hit the planet that just boop, no more. Well, there's a lot of different lasers in space. It's not like there's all kind of weird waves in space and all kind of laser lights in space, all kind of different waves of light in space being sent. So a lot of it hits us, and a lot of times people think it's signals, it's intelligent signals. Like some types of stars give off weird, strange signals. Matter of fact, for Halloween, I play this a lot. It's the sounds of Jupiter. It is some of the creepiest shit you've ever
weird
heard.
Noises.
It is just creepy. And it's real sounds. It's not made up or anything else.
Our planet makes sounds.
Yeah, so everything makes sounds. So people always say, "Well, space is silent." No, we just can't hear anything because we can't hear in space.
The problem
but
with
it's
space is there's
silent.
no air molecules for any sound waves to bounce off of. That's why you can't hear in space. But if there were particles for the sound waves to bounce off of, yeah, you could hear in space. You'd also be dying as you heard this sound, but you would hear it before you died.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot going on. Hey, Dave, what you doing, man?
Hi, buddy. Just drop in to visit this. What is that song? Just dropped in to visit and see how things are going on.
Yes, well, there's a bunch of strangers on tonight.
Yeah, hey, Dave.
We're short one
Strangers.
host.
I know Jay. I know Jay.
Yeah, Jay. Well, that's the double Sean's, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Double jeopardy.
Yes. we're gonna start having a rule. Everybody who comes on the show has got to have a J name, so they have to have a fake name.
Mine's Jack.
Yes.
Mine's Jack. Mine's Jack.
We're gonna name those Sean Jimmy John, man, like after the sandwich shop.
How about Jave? How about Jave? Jave instead of Dave.
Jave instead of Dave. Yeah. Or Java.
Java. Yeah.
Use the E to an A. You got Java.
Yeah.
Java Emens.
Java.
No, so anyway, getting back to the weird ass signal. I mean, we get a lot of these signals that hit our planet, lots of different stuff that comes around and hits our planet. It's strange that they just, I mean, first they recorded it, so it takes a little time to figure out how old this signal is, where it came from, what was back there. Well, we can't really see 8 billion years out. We like to make people think we can, but we can't. We don't really know what's out there. All we can say is, it's some weird star, some weird this, or this is FTTPA signal or some bullshit like that that just happened. Came out. And now we're hearing it now. Okay, what is the
Joe? Did they say it was intelligible? Could they make it out?
No, I don't know. We're gonna bring it up later. We're just touching on it right now. But we're gonna bring it up later. Where are we at? 14
you guys remember the
billion
WOW
years
signal?
now? Yeah.
You remember the WOW signal?
They've been better signals. Yeah, they've been better signals since then.
They're thinking about right now sending another follow-up. So they sent the Arecibo message in, I think it was 1976, that was engineered. The signal was put together by Carl Sagan and Frank Drake. And then we got the response 10, 20 years later. They're thinking about sending another response because we have not heard another thing. So they think they want to try to send another signal to that same area. Which sounds very interesting. If we get another WOW signal, then hey, that's substantial evidence,
right?
So y'all remember when they started first finding exoplanets, right? The two guys who were finding the exoplanets, one of the guys working for him was doing his thesis on exoplanets. So he decided that he was going to use laser light and look for laser light to see if any of those, because it's laser, it's fast as light. Even though sound is fast as light, laser is fast as light, but it carries more information than sound does. So he started looking, and he found two signals that repeatedly hit the planet every 6 months, like clockwork. Somebody said maybe it was a pulsar or a quasar. They couldn't find any in the neighborhood that was causing it. And then he was about 7 months in. He was 2/3 of the way. He's finishing up his thesis, and the Navy came in and took the whole project, all of it, everything.
Wow.
Put him out. Told him, do your thesis. I mean, they took his thesis. They told him do it on something else. So I think the school just passed him because, at this point, I mean, I don't know what else they were going to do.
It's got to be one of the best. I didn't do my homework excuses ever. The Navy confiscated everything.
But the Navy actually went on the school and confiscated stuff. It was one of those things. And now we know the Navy, and we know the Navy and Air Force both now test for telepathic and psychic abilities. So people, if you ever go to get in the Navy or the Air Force, it doesn't really matter. So when you join the military, one of the things they do is they hypnotize you in one of the days to try to help you to relax, to get rid of some of the stress while you're there. But so this is like day 2 or 3. So what they're actually doing is they're testing for psychic abilities. It's they really want to see if who's got any real abilities or not.
Yeah, they used to give us a weekend pass and said go to town and have fun and relax.
No, this is doing an indoctrination speech.
Oh,
These are one of these things that this is like in day 1, 2, or 3 when you're there.
When did they start doing this stuff, John?
No, they've always been doing it. You're just not paying attention.
No, they didn't do it in the Army. I would have been like, what the fuck?
No, because they don't tell you they're doing it. See, that's the whole point. They don't tell you they're doing it. They always do it. It's usually in one of the indoctrination speeches. And if you ever stop and listen or go back and listen to the way the person is actually talking to you and listen to the tones that they're using while they're talking to you. They're actually just putting you, it's called light hypnosis. They're just putting you on a plane. They just want to see your reactions is all it is. And you'll be surprised how many people actually have reactions while you're sitting there. Anybody who just doesn't fall into the status quo gets tested later on. They just pull them and test them. The Navy and the Air Force, and I know for a fact both been doing this for at least 30 years. The Army, and I would imagine the Army and Marines are doing it. Well, I know the Marines are because they're part of the Navy, so I know they are. And if they're all doing it, the Army.
Yeah, they very
But it's really something like this. So, good evening, and you're welcome. Now, welcome to the Army. We're glad to have you here. We're going to make these great, wonderful soldiers. I mean, they go on for like an hour and a half of just monotone monologue is what they do. And really, you should catch on to it about a third of the way into it. You should be like, what the fuck? Why am I, everybody gets all this weird kind of quiet stare at everybody or staring at the stage. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I believe you, Joe, because when I was in the Army in top secret clearance, every weekend we'd have military intelligence guys come into this little room and give us cigarettes and soda and talk to us. And they might have been hypnotizing us then. I don't know.
Well, it's not just that either. If they're testing for empathic or telepathic abilities, what they're actually they'll usually let someone who they know is a telepath do the lecture or do the indoctrination, because they're the ones that's going to sense it anyway. And we know the Air Force and Navy actually admitted in 2000 that they were currently actively looking for telepathic and empathic ability. They had dropped their remote viewing programs. There were no more. Ed Dames got retired, and they decided that telepathy was the way to go, and they had openly started looking. But they had already been looking much earlier than that. Come on, we all know how the military is. They don't tell us anything until they're well into whatever the hell sticky, nasty shit
when they give
into.
The inoculations, when you go through any of the branches, they don't tell you what you're getting shot with. They just say, "Here, give me your butt, your arm." Boom, boom.
Oh my God, yeah, man, boot camp. They had corn lined up on each side with air thingies.
Right.
And mattresses all over the place. He just walked on and they dip, and they're like, okay. I mean, I got so many damn shots, Jeff, honestly, that I could walk into a room full of freaking every disease on man and come out alive. Do you know what I mean? That's how much shit
Navy, unfortunately, Navy got more shots than a lot of the other branches did. Because they were being deployed overseas. So if you weren't being deployed overseas, you didn't have to get them up. Yeah, the military's thing was always the same thing. If you're not going overseas, you're not getting those shots. Mm-hmm. If you're going overseas, they can always give them to you later on. And none of them make you sick for more than a day or two anyway. The only one I ever remember was the diphtheria, malaria. One was malaria. I felt like it was buzzed for like 3 days or something. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I mean, I don't really remember anything else bothered me that much. And it was,
some people get like violent dreams when they get that.
Well, I've heard lots of horror stories about it. And then, I have personally witnessed some idiot tech shooting somebody with nothing in the gun, and you see a big bubble start going up their arm.
Ow.
All of a sudden, you see another tech just
it's a
grab it. And
stroke.
start,
That's like stroke.
Yeah, because they got to get it because if it gets to the brain, it is a stroke. Well, they had one. This guy got all kind of money because he had a bubble on his forehead about this big. It was one of those shots and shot like 40 rounds. Even the doctor was amazed that it didn't get it. He got it somehow got in the front of his forehead, and that's where it was, and it stayed there. The doctor actually went up with a needle and a big pin and drained the air out of it from right there. This dude was so lucky he didn't die. I mean, it just would have been like the bins. I mean,
it's some like E3, right? The same thing. I mean, it happens all the sort of. You have like the some E3 on the tank line with the high pressure hose. Let's see if I spray this guy, and somebody loses an eye, because they spray somebody in the face with it.
Well, I seen one of the guys he got kicked out the Navy. So, and this is true for most branches, but we all had to learn firefighting. It's just part of it. Matter of fact, everybody keeps asking me why I'm not suing the Navy. It's one of the guys will work. There's a certain routine you do to pass the hose. So you touch the guy on the shoulder, you reach around and you let go. He comes out. You grab the hose and then you slide up, and that way the hose never gets out of control.
Right.
So this idiot, the guy taps him in the shoulder, let him know he's coming. He just lets go of the hose. Just fucking let's go. And this guy, this thing. So the guy on the side of him, he got his the top part of his left leg broke, and this piece right here, it just snapped it in half. The guy in front of me, it broke his wrist and his forearm. I got lucky because I seen it coming. I just ducked and hit the ground, and it kept going. So and then I heard all I could hear was the commander screaming, "Turn the line off! Turn the line off!" And I was no way I was reaching for the gun. Screw that, because I was going to go for a ride. I was only $1.80 back then, man. I mean, woo in the ass. This ain't happening. And then they get that put.
Dangerous. It was dangerous.
They canned him because it's simple instructions.
It can kill you.
And it is dangerous. And I remember reciting our general orders in the tear gas chamber. That shit.
Oh my God.
That was just so fun.
I'll bet that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. I love
it.
I
like how it was.
Because you get to watch everybody else just getting destroyed. It is hilarious. It is well worth. Like I would go back in a second time just to see it again.
It was insane. You knew something bad was coming because when you put the mask on, you're already starting to tear up and stuff because they've been used so many times. And I remember he said, "Take it off," and I had one of them freaking long ones. So I took it off. I'm like, I could just feel the tears just streaming down my face. I'm looking at my partner. Oh. He's laughing his ass off. And there's tears streaming from underneath the mask.
I was a police explorer when I was in high school.
It was rough.
Years, and they tested us. They tested the zappers, the electric zappers on us, which it hurts a little, but it's not real bad. So you kind of and then it stops. But years later, my friend stole from his dad's arsenal a can of Federal Fog tear gas spray. And I had a convertible MGB. And what did my idiot friend do? He sprayed a fog of this tear gas over our cars. And then we stayed there for a few hours, drinking a few beers and talking and socializing. And then 2 or 3, 4 hours later, we all had to go home. I get in my car and I start driving. And the tear gas starts coming off the steering wheel and the dashboard and the seats and hitting me in my face. And I'm trying to drive. And I thought it was the beer. I'm like, why can't I see? Then I realized, oh my God, there's tear gas in my vehicle.
Oh, man.
It hurt. It really hurt. And I'm driving down the road 30 miles an hour trying to see out of like tearing eyes and doing this all the whole time. I had to pull over for 20 minutes.
Yeah, one of a cop.
I don't think I can handle being in a container with that stuff, but it would be an experience to have it thrown in my face one time, full force, just to know what it's like.
That'd be hard to explain to a cop, wouldn't it?
Oh hell yeah! Well, he would eventually start having the same side effects too.
He'd be crying.
He's gonna come over. Can I have your license? I'm like, no, I'm covered in tear gas.
Believe it or not, there comes a point with the tear gas that it becomes way less effective. So I'm thinking, because we're in there, because we the whole company's in. There's 80. There's about 20 guys. That's all they could cram in there, and so everybody's got it. So we're in there half an hour, 40 minutes, and I'm telling you, by the time you get out, you're not tearing up anymore. It's still stinging and aggravating, but you could perform and do your duties. And I think that was a lesson they were trying to teach us, that you can push your way through it.
Yeah.
because let me tell you what, these freaking masks were useless.
Yes.
I mean, there was gas
Yes.
all over them. They had been
Yes.
exposed to tear gas so many times. It was freaking, and and you could see the commanders laughing every time you put one on your face. You're like, oh, and everybody's taking them off, and like, I mean, it was horrible, people.
Yeah, it was.
That's your U.S. military. That's your U.S. military. But I tell you what, special forces, one of the things you have to do is you have to be able to take a full out 1 million watt taser watt and be able to hold it and still perform your duty afterwards.
Really?
Yeah,
That's very tough.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, after about your 25th time, you get a little better at it. Maybe your 30th.
There's a really great scene in one of the Steven Seagal movies, the one where he's on the train, and his like niece or goddaughter or whatever has a can of mace, and one of the special forces guys, the guy who's in charge of the special forces, tries to attack her, and she goes, psh, and he's like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "No, this is like cologne for us." So they say he conditioned himself so good against the tear gas, it's like a shot.
Well, you see, I mean, it's just part of. No, Jay, on the tasers, what they did is, well, okay. Anyway, there's some classified stuff I can't tell you, but anyway, yeah, you have to learn how to do it. But there's how can I say this and not get in trouble? Anyway, there's like. Just say you can ground yourself. I can't. There's nothing else I can say. Yeah, even though I was in 40 years ago, I still couldn't tell you this. This is still stuff they use even today. Yes,
Electricians know that trick, probably.
So there are ways. Yes, and they teach you all this stuff while you're in the service. Yes, they do. They teach you a lot of stuff. I mean, they teach you way more stuff than you ever want to remember. To be honest with you, well, who wants to remember how to kill people? I mean, really.
Well, and on that same note, same token, especially for women that are concerned about their personal safety, like, oh, I've got a bottle of mace. I always tell them, don't bother with the mace, especially if you get a heroin addicted person attacking you or someone who's on cocaine. The mace they sell to us is like watered down. It might affect me without drugs, but you get a guy who's been using heroin or any cocaine type thing, it's really not going to bother them. And they're like, well, what should I use for self-defense? I said, a good stout stick or a knife or a gun. Most of your spray chemicals, when someone who's really, really hopped up on other drugs, mace isn't going to bother them one bit, and they're still going to get you.
How about bear spray? Bear spray is pretty
I
tough.
haven't had bear spray sprayed on me, but yeah, that might be a little more powerful. But
yeah, that is.
If you're really, really hopped up on drugs,
did that happen to you, Dave? Did that happen to you? Dave.
Yeah. Did that happen to me? No, I had bear spray up in Alaska and I had it ready and I shot it just for practice, but it comes out with a hell of a stream. The other thing that's really, hornet spray is supposed to be a good self-defense weapon. It's worse than pepper spray. They say if you hit that hornet spray in somebody's face, you're going to knock them down.
Yeah, that's a powerful one. But the one that I like is the one that the postal carriers carry. It is a pepper spray, but it's a stream, and it's not designed to affect the eyes and nose. It's designed for the skin, and they use it for dogs. Dogs love to eat the postman when he comes up to drop off the mail, and they spray this stuff on the dog, like on his back hip or on his side, and it makes the dog's skin irritated. So the dog's attention goes to that area, so he tries to get rid of it. And while the dog is trying to get the painful spray off, postman's on the other in the next yard by that. That stuff, I haven't had that touch me, but I've heard that's really, really, really irritating.
Yeah, that must be about 18%.
I couldn't tell you, but yeah, it's for furry animals, so it's got to be pretty strong.
Could you use bear spray on Bigfoot?
Yeah.
You could use hairspray on Bigfoot. I'm telling you, you could use hairspray on Bigfoot. No, Ron, you got the right idea. Whip out the hairspray with the cigarette lighter. You get a little blowtorch going on. As far as I know, the ozone. Who wrote that? No, as far as I know, the majority of ozone is closed up.
Ozone is not a big deal anymore. Yeah,
it's mostly closed up. I think there was 2 little tiny holes left now. Yes, it's because it's always doom and gloom. Of course it is. No, remember the ozone was going to open up. We were all going to barbecue alive, and it's going to be like some horror movie where everybody's just barbecuing and bubbles and coming up. You're walking around.
You notice Al Gore quit being the energy czar.
Because Al Gore is the biggest. Look, okay, I know men can cry. I understand that. Okay, this is the 20 whatever century. But when you're the vice president of the United States and you get up on there and you go, I can't believe it. And now I got to go grow up here and fly around with the biggest global footprint in the history of the world. I couldn't take it anymore. He sounded like a little 8-year-old boy who got kicked in the balls or something. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And then every time I checked his carbon footprint, it was like so large. You could have took
he was flying all over the place to lecture on global warming while contributing to global warming.
Yes.
And then he got really smart and he started a carbon an offset company. So you feel guilty. So Dave feels guilty. Sean feels guilty. I'm gonna go give this offset company, $100 million, and they're gonna offset my carbon use in the world. Yeah, really? Mm-hmm. You can really believe that? Let's go find out where all that money. Well, I bet you they ain't offsetting no damn carbon anywhere. Right. It's offsetting somebody's new yacht. Oh, such bullshit.
Where did this idea, Joe? Do you know where this idea that Al Gore invented the internet? I never did get the beginning of that.
Al Gore said no. Al Gore. So
he said it.
He's on national TV when he says this, and I'm thinking, well, Al Gore. I said we're the same age. I was working on the internet when I was in the service. You weren't even shithead P on it time he hit because we were about the same age. I was kind of like, Al, you're telling a little story here, right? Because first off, the internet, it ain't classified anymore, but the internet was built by the military. That's how they used to ship.
1957.
So that's how they sent stuff around. That's how they did things. That was the way. They invented this really cool way of sending stuff. And then, of course, as it became more secure in the military, thought theirs was more secure because only we had it. Oh, we're going to give it to our citizens. Well, guess what? When we gave it to our citizens, the rest of the freaking world got it. So it became less secure again.
Right. Just like the bomb, just like the atom bomb. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we're
once the secret's out, there's no putting it back.
Right.
So, okay, Jeffrey, we'll talk about Putin for a little while. So, Putin won 88% of the vote. Go, Putin, go. Okay. We should have Russian flags there. Go, Putin, go.
His primary, the candidate running against him had a heart attack though a few months ago. So,
I wonder how that happened. Right. Putin send him a steak that had some heart attack medicine in it.
Somebody grabbed him in the elevator and choked him out and said, "Okay, this is just a warning."
Probably.
Would it have been? Yes, sir. I got it. Man.
I heard a story. I don't know if it's true. Maybe you guys can back this up about this voting for Putin. It's kind of like our canvassing for votes on steroids. They took around armed guards and had people go up to their doors and give them a ballot and told them to vote for Putin. And they took the ballot and they I guess they did it like we had people do it here, like canvassing, but they did it under duress.
Well, at least they had actual people vote, unlike here.
You don't remember when the Black Panthers went around in 3 states and made black people vote? Y'all forgot about that. That was in the last election, last 2 elections,
right?
Yeah. Last 2 elections. It's why are you worried about the taser thing? What a 250,000, 450,000 vote. If you're a big guy and you got some kahunas to you, you can shake it off. Yeah,
you can fight through it. It's hard, but you can't. If you have one of those TENS machines, you guys know what those are. Those are the things you put on for muscle helping.
Right.
Physical therapists use it all the time. Mm-hmm. If you get that on you frequently, I use it for my back and other muscles. You can fight through it. It's painful, but it's not like the chemical spray. Once it's on you, got to get it off.
Yeah. Well, the cops, not most, but about half the police departments I've heard of, they'll when you're in cop camp, boot camp, they'll hit you with a 500,000 a few times just to let you know what it feels like and how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know. Because I was picking on a cop just recently. She was wearing her yellow, and I said, "Oh, look at that big thing! Ooh, big old one of the big yellow guns with the things that shoot out." She's like 800,000. I'd drop anybody. I said,
Shoot me with it.
I said, "Are you 100% sure that'll drop anybody?" I was like, "Oh well." So we wouldn't mind to put some money up on that, would you?
No. Well, does it make your body ache? I know when I was an electrician, I got hit by 440 up the arm and the shoulder. My whole arm and shoulder ached for about 3 days.
Oh, it does sometimes. We got daisy chained on a 277 like that. They were doing. We had to do a emergency light hot. Some lady just comes walking along down the hallway, bumps into the guy with his hand up in there, putting the light back together. he hits the damn thing, it just shoots down the cord because we're all kind of holding the thing, sitting on it, trying to feed it back in.
Mhm.
It just shot the whole length of because everybody had a piece of the cord. So yeah, I think it was 5 of us. It lit the living daylights out of, and he got a piece, blew out right here, palm of his hand. It just shot out. Lucky he didn't lose a damn hand over it. But
Yeah, what happened to the last guy in the daisy chain? Did that hit him worse than
no? Because I think the first guy, it blew out of his hand. I think so. I think we got discharged.
Okay.
Because it didn't feel like 277 to me. It felt more like a 110. But you know how 110 has it grabs you, 277 pushes you.
Right.
It's a different kind of feel. A friend of mine said, "I don't understand why 110 is more dangerous." I said, because 110 will grab you and
you can't
hold on.
Yeah.
I said, whereas 277, it just hits you. And the higher the voltage, the more it hits you. I said, so a lot of times it'll hit you. I've seen a guy get his one working on a high line. It blew out the back of his elbow. He lost his arm from the thing up. He's also stinking filthy rich now, but still doesn't get him. Well, maybe today it does because there's a whole different technology.
Bionics are a thing now.
Yeah. But it's people, electricity is dangerous, and we do use it as weapons. They have electric guns now. They got a couple. I remember when they first invented, I think it was the M80 they called it. It was an electric gun with about an 80-foot range. That shot, it was some ungodly, wicked amount of electricity
based on the Tesla coil technology.
Yeah, it would melt. It would melt steel, melt brick. Anything it touched. If it hit you, you were screwed. Yeah, you were dead. You weren't living from that.
Joe, can I ask you something? I know this may not be top secret or anything, but these ironclad destroyers that we have out in the Pacific right now, and the Chinese are afraid of it. Those are laser and weapon guns, aren't they?
Well, originally they were rail guns, is what they were. Yeah. And then the Navy got all hot because I think it was $1 million a round or some shit. Yeah, it might have been more than that. So and they said, okay, no, we're taking them off. And then somebody invented hypersonic missiles. They said, oh, well, wait a minute, we're gonna put the rail guns back on.
Bring them back in.
So I was like, okay. Well, the railguns are interesting. The current ones that are the only one that's got them right now is that they just put them back on the Zimwalt, and
one of our stealth subs has it,
and then supposedly one of the carrier has that and 3 lasers on board. So the thing about them is that these things. I watched the test at Bikini Atoll. I'm sorry. So there was a ship out there, pretty decent size. It looked like one of the more Hornet type carriers. One of them Harrier type carriers, and this thing you just seen it. Didn't even make any noise hardly. It was and the thing went bloop. I mean, it was like cutting through butter, man. I mean, literally, it was the ship offered no resistance whatsoever to these things, and they can shoot up to 20 miles. I think they say it's more than that now. So they just nothing offers any resistance. They can shoot through anything. So even if you've got one of those deep shelters, it'll blast through 20 miles of shelter, no problem.
Why are those destroyers so cladded? You can't see anything on them. They're all ironclad.
That's stealth. That's all stealth. That's all stealth.
They look like the F-17 had a bastard child with the USS Kitty Hawk, and it's got all these weird angles on it. It's a neat looking ship, but
so you have to remember. So what they're doing is so radar. The way we catch things on radar, we shoot a radar beam, it bounces back. Okay, we know it's there. So these things are designed to pull the radar beams along the edges of the ship and not reflect them, and make them go back or shoot off or scatter on a different direction, but not go back.
In a direction back away from.
So they don't get any bounce back because eventually they dissipate anyway. And Chris, that is true. The Chinese looks like they have come up with a laser beam, the correct not signal wave to shoot down hypersonic missiles. Yes, ain't that a bitch?
Yeah. What about us? Don't we have that laser too?
Oh, we got a different kind of lasers, but so most people don't even know this. The U.S. has been having these planes for a while. I don't know why we don't have an air. Maybe we'll put them back in air since Putin gets so crazy. So Reagan, when he came up with this plan for a six-tier defense system over the United States, his original plan was they would have a 3-tier missile defense shield that would launch 3 different types of missiles, and a 3-tier laser defense shield that would also use different types of lasers and for different things. Because sometimes, if you've got an intercontinental ballistic missile coming in with say 12 warheads on it, you need something. How are you going to take out 12 warheads?
Mm-hmm.
So what those were tactical nukes they used with about a 2 mile to 3 mile killing range in the sky. So they would take out those, but they also had kinetics that would just ram into things, and then they had what they called nearby that would just blow out shit out the sides and the tops and just take them out that way. And then the lasers came along. You had one type of laser that had to focus on it long enough to heat it up enough to blow it up, and then they came with high intensity chemical lasers to like cut through shit. And that's the one they were supposedly mounting on the 727 that's supposed to do a figure eight over the United States. This thing is supposed to be able to shoot down 2,000 missiles a minute, and it's supposed to fly over a figure eight over the United States. And then as missiles start coming into space, they just start shooting them down.
And those are the ones that are powered by noble gases, the ones that cut.
Yeah. So
right?
so this was all part of a plan that had been going together for a long time, and then the planes were working. They had tested them. They had a lot of trouble getting the guidance system to lock onto the missiles they were trying to blow up. I mean, they had a lot of trouble, and they even got caught cheating once or twice by putting trackings in the damn missiles they were shooting. Then they got busted doing that, and so finally they started getting it down. They finally get it down. They're getting it down pretty good, and then because it wasn't just. It was supposed to be one deployed over the United States, one deployed over Europe. There was going to be 4 of these deployed that could completely shield the entire world from a Russian or Chinese nuclear attack. Anything that had to go into space, we could shoot down. So the only things we really had to worry about anymore after that would be low yield tactical nukes put on like cruise missiles. And the reason I say low yield, because you can't really put a really big warhead on a cruise missile. It's not going to work.
They can only carry so much weight.
Well, it'll start to tumble, so it's not going to work. So it puts you in a different place. You mean spent uranium shells? Yeah, we use that all the time. Does it give people in the army? Does it give people in the army cancer? I don't know. You have to go ask somebody in the army.
I mean, yeah,
he's right there, Sean. Sean, you're in the army.
Sean said you don't want to talk about that.
As long as you don't shoot depleted uranium at targets, right? I mean, we don't use them in training, right? I think we probably use like tungsten rounds.
But sitting in the tank with a load of depleted uranium shells for wartime, is there any exposure risk?
No, I mean not unless it got hit.
Oh.
In which case, as long as the depleted uranium is not ionized.
Okay, those are way before my time, Sean. What is the effect of those rounds that they fire with those?
One shell can destroy a tank.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're just like high density, right? So it just makes it easier to get a kinetic hit on a particular target.
It's still a preferred round even today. So I mean, people like to use them. It does a good job. I know they were bitching from Iraq for doing cleanup. For having to go clean all those depleted rounds that we shot. They were, but I didn't really hear any problems with any real cancer things over there from any of that. So, and it's been 20
on
years.
On the Iraqi side, there may have been a case.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they
were exposed to the actual uranium.
Right. Yes, because we were killing them with them.
Right.
I didn't see that shit in Vietnam.
No, that wasn't even in Vietnam.
No,
they came later on.
They were probably working on it. But it didn't make it to the war.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be the equivalent to napalm?
Oh no, it's far worse.
No.
Well, no. See,
napalm is a chemical.
Well, napalm was what? A couple of chemicals. What was it? It was diesel and
it's diesel, gasoline, detergent, and some type of gelling agent, styrofoam.
So
petroleum jelly. Yeah, it's petroleum jelly.
Petroleum jellies. Yeah.
So today you can make it out of gasoline and your styrofoam and ice chest today.
Yeah,
it's
I think it's 1 gallon of gasoline to one like a half a gallon of diesel and like the equivalent
that over the radio.
I know.
It's in the Anarchist Cookbook, which anyone on the internet can get a hold of. So it's not any.
Yeah, when Jay's not here next week, we'll know what happened.
Well, most people don't read books hardly anymore. So
exactly.
That's true. Yeah, but those electronic kids, they can find it on their phones. So no problem.
I'd like to talk about the DEW weapon, which you guys know about that direct energy weapon. Has it been used a couple of times already?
I think we've used. There's evidence, at least from the STS-48 space shuttle flight, of some type of kinetic energy being shot from somewhere near the New Zealand, Australia area at a target outside of the atmosphere, and said target reacts violently to avoid being hit by it. And by avoid violently, I mean it's going like this. All of a sudden, it's gone. So, yeah, we have used them, but I don't think we've used them on a planetary target.
You mentioned napalm, Jay. This is the modern napalm, that do weapon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there's
we
a lot
may
of
have
nasty
accidentally
weapons out
used
there.
it on. We may have accidentally used it on flight 800 TWA.
Oh.
Yeah, accident.
So I hear they said they found flight 737 now. So that's I hear a lot of interesting stuff since they supposedly said they found it. They said the what was it, the pilot or the was either the pilot or co-pilot just took off and committed suicide. That's their official explanation.
Oh, MH370, that one?
Yeah,
oh yeah, 370.
Malaysian.
Yeah.
Malaysian flight.
That thing is like the biggest conspiracy hole, rabbit hole that you can go down.
Well, what happened to the latest? The latest conspiracy was the pilot flew it into a black hole, or
like a portal.
Yeah, portal. Yeah.
I mean, there's a video going around that shows that, but again, it just could just be a video that somebody cooked up. There's a huge debate on it, by the way. Well, I'm not an expert, but there are experts who claim it's fake. There are experts who claim it's real. It's just, all I know is the circumstances of the disappearance of that aircraft are the part that's really, really sketchy.
Really strange,
right?
Because
there were like 20 scientists on board. Mm-hmm. Over half of them were Chinese nationals. They worked for a company called Freescale Semiconductor. That, I think the year before, the same company signed a contract with the Department of Defense to make gallium nitride chips, which are used in like space communications and all this stuff. So these guys were flying into Beijing, and then from Beijing they were supposed to be setting up some sort of manufacturing facility. But it's just lots of sketchy stuff going on. My personal view is that the other thing too is there was like a fire on board, and they had an obscene number of lithium-ion batteries loaded on board, which are notoriously unstable.
Right.
And to have that much, so it's almost like somebody wanted to make sure that plane never got back home.
It's an Intel target. Intel target. Yep.
It's like rife. And there's another whistleblower potential whistleblower who was imprisoned for a while because they believed he may have leaked some of the footage. I mean, at the same time, in the same period, in the same location, right? So there's just a lot of weird. I think his last name's Lin. I can't remember his first name, but it's a rabbit hole that I don't recommend anybody go down, because you might be going into places that the people in the know do not want you to go down.
Yeah, Joe brought up this thing about the planes flying around in figure eights across the country or whatever. But there was conspiracy videos that I saw that people were tracking. They call them doomsday, aircraft, where they shoot down these, nuclear missiles. And apparently what Joe was saying is true, that these people had these planes tracked. And every time there's a DEFCON 4 or something, they got in the air. And they started flying around the country. They made pass back and forth and everything.
Well, we know part of the missile defense shield is up. I mean, we know that there are missile bases along the western and eastern coastlines. We know there are some along the Gulf Coast. We know D.C. is full of the son of bitches.
There's
I've
a missile
personally
defense
seen at
system
least
along
7 of
the
them.
mall in D.C., around the White House.
Well, I've seen at least seven missile batteries in D.C. myself. And 2 of them was so weird because you're driving down this little highway, and you're going past the armory, and sure enough, there's one active right there. It's active. You can see all the fences are active. Everything's hot. The gun, the thing is just set up. And I'm thinking this some bitch is above ground with 2 missiles sitting on it. Because at first I thought it was maybe like a museum piece. You know, I mean, come on. No, it was active. I was like, because when I came, I actually went back around. I drove past this thing like 4 times. I'm not even lie. And because I was stunned. I've seen them on board ship when they're active before, and I was kind of like, wow, it's active.
Have you seen the snipers on the roofs in DC?
Well, this is funny. So I was there filming. I was there filming for Ancient Aliens a few years back, and I was staying at I had the presidential suite at the Mandarin Hotel. They paid for all of this, and so I'm sitting there. He goes, you can see Barack Obama's house from your back window. So I went out and looked out the back window, and sure enough, you can see the White House. Just it's a clear view right to it. And I was like, wow, look at this. So I got one of the high end cameras out just to see, just to see what I could actually see, how close I could get to the house and see. There's several things. So I didn't realize this until one day I was walking around. So they have blur zones at the house. So you can stare at an area and it's almost like you don't see anything. And I was trying to figure out what it was that caused it. Because I was wondering why you didn't see the missile silos, not the missile silos, but the batteries. Because I noticed 3 on the White House roof. They've been there since God. I couldn't even tell you how long they've been there. So I was kind of wondering why, because you used to be able to see them. I was kind of wondering why you couldn't see them. So they look like they're deploying that whatchamacallit technology that bends the light. So we had this since about 1996 and 1998. They said we couldn't use it. They showed this actually on regular television, which cracks me up. This is stealth technology. So it comes with a backpack that weighs about 90 pounds. So it wasn't feasible for the field. It's too much for a soldier to be lugging around weaponry and the whole 9 yards. It was too much. I would imagine today that's much different. And I would imagine anything that they want to hide, anything based on that technology on the ground, they can have it hooked up to some type of energy field or some type of electricity or something. So, because I was wondering, it was something that was bothering me, and I couldn't pull them up right now, but on a couple of pictures I took, you could actually see like one over the middle of the house. It looked like the light was reflecting out, it was like it was reflecting out like this, like when it's hitting it. The camera was reacting like there was more to just there. It was like it was trying to find the rest of what it was looking at. Nice thing about digital cameras with little chips in them, people, it actually looks for the target, which is kind of cool. So the camera recognized that there was something there. It just couldn't tell me what it was that was there. I couldn't see anything. I took several pictures. It just looked like kind of like light refracting. There's a lot of things we got, people, we don't know. I mean, as far as I know, we don't have any planes with that technology on it. Somebody said there's a couple of tanks with it, but
and there are also some low-tech ways of making things fuzz out. Certain moire patterns, non-moving moire patterns, intersecting lines and stuff. You look at that pattern long enough, your eyes lose focus. And they delve with this. You guys in the Navy should know certain types of striping on the hulls. Diagonal lines and weird angles on the sides of the boats. It's harder to target it.
Dude, honest to God, we were haze gray and underway.
Yep, haze gray for our Navy, but there are Navy ships out there that have like big black diagonal lines and different colors on them, and it deadens the silhouette when you see this boat on by the broadside. Number one, you have a hard time discerning the silhouette, what type it is, and then trying to target it makes it a little bit harder because it's hard to see on the horizon. But you're right, our Navy ship is haze gray. It's to emulate the sky, a hazy sky, so on the horizon our boats disappear with the color of the sky.
No, I know with the invention of nuclear ships, the carrier, when you were coming in from the back of the carrier, you didn't even see it because there's no smoke or nothing coming out. It's underway. So you'll see the water turning. Like at night, you can see it a little bit further out because the wake it leaves kind of has a glow to it. No, it's not from.
It's called fluorescent plankton.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Doofus, it's not radiation. Who said that? You freaking idiots.
Bioluminescence. It's harmless, like a firefly in the water.
The Nimitz was way faster than it was originally listed at. Yes, it was. Well, I think the original thing was 60 knots or 50 knots.
Well, you know what? Back then in the 80s, the Nimitz was the cream of the crop, man.
It wasn't until we built the new Ford class. Yeah. And now it's the cream of the crop. Well, people, you gotta move upwards and onwards. That's all you can do. We'll talk about that real quick and then we're gonna move on. Right now, as far as I know, the United States, Russia, and Pakistan are the only countries that have nuclear weapons deployed. They're not the only ones that have nuclear weapons. They're the only ones that have them deployed. So when you check the deployed list, a lot of times China's not showing any nuclear weapons deployed. Neither is Israel or the UK or France or any of those countries. They're not showing them deployed. They just showing them they have deployed means they're ready to go. Push the button, poof, they going. Yes. Look, that's why I always double check these maps because we get all this stuff. People send us so much stuff on different things. No, it was just on a recent show we did it. We had it on last week or the week before. We actually brought it up on the camera so you could see it. Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago. It's weird. Well, no, China don't need it. China's in a precarious situation. What is China going to do? China can't really get into a war. Yes, it has a bigger navy, and it does have a lot more people than we do. But really, it's got. I think they upgraded them to 800 nukes now. We've got 5,000. And besides, it doesn't matter if China nukes us or we nuke China. Everybody dies.
Yes,
we share the same trade ones. It's everybody dies. So it's a moot argument, and that's why China's getting so pissed at Russia because they're getting tired of hearing let's start World War III. Because Russia thinks it can start a fight with NATO and not America. So figure out, that's what he thinks. He said this on TV more than once. Medvedev, whatever you say his name, he also agrees that there can be a war started with NATO and not America. And he's right. If Trump becomes president, Trump wants out of NATO. So if Trump pulls us out of NATO and he starts a war with NATO, it's just NATO and him. But it's still like 25 countries. It just won't be us. I can't see us not getting involved in a NATO fight, but I would tell you this. It would really depend what NATO country it was. So let's say you attacked France or England. Yeah, United States. If you touch England, the United States is getting involved no matter what.
That's right.
I don't know what it is or why we love England so much, but you touch England, we're coming to kick your ass. Just know it ahead of time. So
that's our motherland.
So that's what one of his generals said. Well, don't bother with England. The United States will probably stay out the war, and probably England probably will too. So if you've got them two sitting it out, Russia's got a chance against NATO. Not really, but he can try.
Chance? you take Britain and you take the U.S. out, Russia will win.
It's that's what I was kind of thinking at, but it's.
I'm just saying.
Well, I used to think that, but I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah, but how soon into a war like that would Putin make the dumb mistake like Hitler, and instead of ignoring the United States and England, go after them? If Hitler had not gone after Russia, with which he had a pact, a peace pact during World War II, he probably would have won all of Europe.
It's a tough thing, and right now, so I used to think Russia was much more powerful than it is today. Actually, watching it, come on, they sunk one of their own ships today.
Oh, God.
Did they really?
Yes, they sunk one.
Yeah, well, they've been shooting down their own planes the last few weeks, too.
I mean, they can't even get a field and army because nobody in Russia wants to fight. People are leaving Russia by the droves. I don't know if Russia is this big, powerful nation that it used to be. I'm thinking they're talking a bigger talk than they actually are walking. Because think about it, Russia's not been involved in anything for decades. What last thing was Afghanistan, 30 years ago. And now this shit with the Ukraine, and the Ukraine's blowing up shit in their country.
And maybe this is the reason why they're going after Ukraine. They don't have able-bodied army, so they're going after Ukraine to get, conscripts, meat for the army, cannon fodder.
They have lost more ships in the Black Sea. That would be the loss if they suffered in the Black Sea would be like if they were fighting one of us.
Yeah. Well, that people were asking, will Putin ever use nuclear weapons? And they asked him that question at a security meeting. And they said, would you use tactical nukes in Ukraine? And he says, no, he wouldn't. And then he said, we don't want to have a nuclear war. He says, like the president of the United States, they know that a nuclear war would destroy everybody and it wouldn't make any sense. That's what Putin says. He denies now using nuclear weapons. He don't want to do them. I saw that article, UPI.
Yeah, but yet today I was watching him talking about, we could use him here. He thinks a tactical strike on Kiev would be just fine and the world wouldn't get upset about it. But it's worse than that because him and his cronies have all said their first target should be London. London's World War III. Just notice ahead of time. Yeah, everybody who's listening to this show tonight, all 3 million USOBs, if Russia attacks London, that is World War III.
That's it.
Because the U.S. is going to come unfreaking glued. And so is all of Europe, and Russia's not even going to know what happened to its ass. Before Russia even knows what's going on, we will have air superiority over their country. We will be blowing the living shit out of everything.
London is one of the oldest cities in Europe, and if it gets destroyed, I think most countries would go after the aggressor.
Well, you got NATO. So they're double packed though. They've got a NATO pack and an EU pack, so they're double, and they got a pack with us. We have a mutual protection pack with England. So
it's like Russia with Ukraine. How badly they're doing with that war. And when you were in school and you had a bully, and you saw a small kid beat this big bully's butt, and you think, well, heck, I can do that too. It's easy to beat that guy's butt. He's it's just like Russia. They're not as tough as they sounded like. They're
a bully. Yeah. Usually with most bullies, you push back, they stop. Right. And I was lucky enough. I was bullied fairly well. Not great, but not a lot. But in my neighborhood, and you know what I used to fight back against the bully?
What's
brains, smarts.
Yeah.
He'd call me a name, and I'd turn the name back around on him and make him look like an idiot. You get popped in the face for it, but so what? Yeah. One of the classic things that ever happened to me is in college, I was at my favorite bar. I went up to the pool table to put my 50 cents down to play a game, and this visitor, it was St. Patrick's Day weekend, by the way, an out-of-town visitor put his quarters down next to me. I was like, oh, hey, great. Maybe we'll get to play each other. He's like, oh, cool. So he knows I was in front of him, right? Got my name on the chalkboard and everything. My time comes up. I scratch off my name. I go to put my coins. He's like, it's my turn. I'm like, no, it's mine. I'm next. Remember, we put our coins down at the same time. I said, we can play when I win. He's like, it's my turn. And I'm like, it's not. And then he reached back to punch me. No. Before that, he says to me, he calls me a female body part down low.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you are what you eat. So I guess that makes you a dick. And that made him mad. He went to reach back and punch me. Now, mind you, all of my friends are in this bar with all of these out-of-towners. As soon as his arm went back like that, 30 people stood up and said,
yeah.
Well, he went back, this bully, to his table and waited patiently for his game, which was against me. And I said, sorry about the thing. Let's play. And I crushed him. So
bingo.
That's how you deal with bullies. You either have 30 friends behind you or you use your brains on him.
Right. Putin, after that article, I read that the other night. And after that article, I said, well, Putin, his bluffs, he'd be a good card player in Las Vegas because he can really bluff.
Yeah.
Well, he's good at what he does. But anyway, we got to take a break right quick. What was in the queue? I forgot what was in the queue. Oh, I think, what was in the, Simple
This
Man.
was the one that Sean asked for.
You got to put the link in the thing, man. Y'all know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm going to get y'all trained sooner. But anyway, Simple Man's coming up next. This is from one of our listeners. No. I can bear this. Leave me alone, people. I'm going to get nasty with y'all in a minute. Anyway, we'll be right back. Thank you for listening to United Public Radio and News on the Flip Side. I hope everyone is having a good old time. Any moans, groans, bitches, or complaints, remember, we write to Michelle DeRoche, not to Joe, to Michelle DeRoche. You write to Michelle. Yes, that's who you write to. Just go over to her page and write to her. No, before I put this music, I'm going to give you a little piece of advice. Be very nice. I'm just warning you people. Yep. Be very nice. And then we'll be right back. And please stay tuned. Oh, Lord have mercy on all of our souls. Where did that music thing go? There it is. Kind of man. Let me go. Well, we already got the next one's already queued up. So, we'll know what that one's coming up next. I think Sean just sent it to me. It's already in the queue. Why am I hearing more music? Okay. All right. So let's get rid of that one so we don't need it in there anymore. Oh, Megadeth is next. Yes. I'm sorry.
We need more testosterone tonight.
It just slipped out, man. It just slipped out. But you see, that's what happens when we let the audience pick the music sometimes. Oh no! Hey, look. At least we're not paying Taylor Swift.
No! My God. No!
I have been literally sent like 6 Taylor Swift songs. Plus, and then. I thought about this when Miley's new song "Flowers" was sent to me. Best female artist ever.
Did Jenny send you that one?
No. Somebody sends it. It's a regular. Somebody sends. I mean, it's not a horrible song or anything, but it's not for this particular show. I don't know. It's been played on this show before. Any ladies start giving me shit, it's been played on Arthur's Quill too. Yes, it's actually a better song for Arthur's Quill than it is for this show. Yes, it really is. No, it's because it's flour. We're not. Do we look flowery? Look at this group of faces. Do we look like flowers to you? I mean, give me a freaking break. I mean, come on. Anyway,
I kind of do. I kind of do a little bit.
oh my God, somebody's having a
I look
flower.
like a watermelon head. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, this is one we were talking about earlier.
Dave, I have to correct you. You self-identify as a
Yeah,
watermelon.
that's right.
Okay, there you go.
You got to do it right,
Don't
Dave.
screw
You
that
gotta
up,
do it
man.
right. Yep.
Let's see. So let's see. Big blunder by Russia sinks its own vessel during Baltic Sea naval exercise. Wait a minute.
What?
Let me get this straight.
So they're
It wasn't even
practicing
under
to use
attack.
their ships and they're blowing them up.
Oh Jesus!
How in the hell could you do
Russia,
that?
you just, I know when you drop a nuke in my head, I'll have a different, but still.
Look,
Oh
they're
my
not
God.
traditionally a naval power. You can't, I wouldn't hold too much of it against it. But
I mean, at one time they were a serious naval power. Not these days, but they were. Now, I mean, do they even have any carriers left now? I don't think they have any.
I don't think they
so.
have.
I think the Chinese have
the last
two
big
of
one
them,
that
right?
they had was the Kirov
Two.
class, and I
Yeah,
don't.
didn't they sell it to China?
Yeah, I
so.
think they got rid of all of those. I don't even think they have their Typhoons anymore.
Really?
I don't think they do.
Huh.
I think they got rid of those too.
All we gotta do is Google it and find out.
Do they still have that XB-70
That's right.
Valkyrie, the fastest bomber in the world? I wonder if they still got that thing.
Now let me ask you guys this, all right? Now, when it was the Soviet Union, were they more powerful back then than they were?
Oh my
are
God!
today?
Yes, way more.
Oh
powerful.
yeah,
Right.
not even close.
Yeah,
They were actually competition for us back then. I mean, it would have been a fight. It would have been like, oh my God, it would have been a serious fight. Today, I'm telling you, and I know people get mad when I say this. Without nuclear weapons, we would take Russia in less than 9 months.
Well,
I don't
wouldn't
think
be a
so.
fight.
I think when they first invaded Ukraine, I would agree with that assessment. I think today we could last about 30 days, and then if we didn't wipe out as much as possible, we'd start having equipment breakdowns, and we'd start running out of ammunition and all that stuff because Russia's mobilized. We haven't. We're just sitting here writing checks our collective bodies can't
Oh
cash.
yeah, but see that's not how this is going to play out. So first off, what's going to happen is all the shit deployed along the Russian border in Poland and all the other countries. That's what's going to be deployed. Anything coming after that will be backup material that we're bringing in to back up the stuff we've already got aground. Plus, I've watched this on several occasions now with us. I haven't seen an Air Force on this planet that can compare with the Navy or our current Air Force. I don't think Russia can keep us from getting air superiority in less than 25 days.
Right.
I think we'll have air superiority in less than that amount of time.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be different for this, because the U.S. is going to hit them with aircraft carriers and other stuff deployed. But Europe, all of Europe, which they have jets out to Pyongyang, are all going to be launching jets. Russia just doesn't have the jets to defend itself unless China gets involved. And even China really doesn't have the jets to deflect that. So if you want to go into a head-to-head fight where we're going to deploy all of our aircraft, you're going to lose, and we're going to have air superiority.
But to be fair, they have the best air defense systems in the world.
They had.
The Russians did. Yeah.
They did. And then Ukraine showed us they sucked. And then, of course, when we were tearing up Iraq, they were number one, and we showed them, oh, no, actually, you're crappy.
Right.
We went in, we didn't even lose any stealth fighters. I mean, it was just – we learned a lot. It's a sad thing. And I don't want to downplay Russia because Russia is dangerous.
Yeah. Well, you have to go back in time, and they had 13 satellite countries back with the Soviet Union. Now they don't. They've lost all those resources.
But I'm going to tell you what the number one problem for Russia is. It's not any of this. One, they're poor right now.
Right.
They got a lot of fuel, but they can't really sell it to anybody. They're trying to sell it to Cuba, and they can't even get money from Cuba to buy it. So, and Venezuela is trying to get rid of some of their oil too at the same time. So really, right there. So their problem is just 180 million of them, 160 million of them. I'd have to look at either 160, 180. Anyway,
145.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. We talked about that.
Or 144.
145. So 80 million of them are above the age to fight. So you got 65 million. How many of them are below the age to fight? Probably 30. You're screwed. So you got 30 million. Some of them people got to stay behind and run the plants and take care of the businesses. You really don't have an effective fighting force against anybody. Except I don't even know who they could fight against with a force. Europe's going to be able to field at least 100 million. The U.S. will be able to field at least 50 or 60 million. China's going to be able to field 300 million, but it don't matter. They don't have equipment to do it.
They can't get them nowhere.
It doesn't matter anyway because somebody's going to nuke their asses right off the bat, and they'd be 600 million of them dead in the first day.
I have a theory about this Taiwan thing. Why doesn't China attack or take over? Because Taiwan's ready for it.
War against the United States. If they go after, because you know why they won't go touch them, right? Because Taiwan is still making our chips for our top secret jets. Those chips that Taiwan make, we cannot ever let fall into anyone else. And we would nuke them son of a bitches before we would let China have those chips. I'm not kidding you. We did that would bring China. China's still about 20 years behind us on these type of chips.
Did you see the first? Did you see elements of the first Special Forces group are deployed a mile from Chinese?
Oh yeah, I did. I seen that.
Shores?
What was that?
On Kinmen Island, which I mean. I think we see something's coming. I think that's why those guys are out there. I mean,
I think so too.
That's why we've been sailing ships around there all over the Yin
stuff.
I just looked up the list of active Russian vessels currently deployed and/or under construction contracts. The link is in the private chat if you want to throw it up on the thing. They have 2 Kirov-class destroyers. One really, really big-looking thing called Kuznetsov is the carrier, but no Typhoons whatsoever. Not a single one in their list. They have some of their older Delta 4s, Delta 3s, Sierras, and some of their other nuclear attack subs. But for the most part, it looks like they have, Kuznetsov is the sole aircraft carrier, pennant number 63, commissioned in 1990, 59,100 tons displacement, Northern Fleet. They have 1 aircraft carrier and 2 battleships. That's it. The rest is corvettes, frigates, and they have a huge, huge sub fleet. But other than that, the
Chinese, like Joe was saying, they're afraid of us attacking. I think that's one thing. But there's a second thing that I'm thinking about. Xi is looking at Putin. He's embarrassed. 2 years on this war plus in Ukraine, and they're kicking his butt a little bit. And Xi is afraid of making a mistake in Taiwan the same way, embarrassing himself because they don't have good landing craft. They don't really have good landing craft to land on the beaches to fight Taiwan.
Well, their other problem is Taiwan can reach the mainland.
Yeah, they're connected.
Don't think Taiwan ain't, because we gave them all kinds of shit.
But the problem with that is our rules of engagement don't allow us to engage targets on Chinese mainland. So that's going to be like, having both hands tied behind our backs as they fire
North Vietnam
missiles. Yeah. So the other thing too is if I'm China, I've been bribing all these officials in Taiwan for the past 20 years. I would use shipping containers and infiltrate. It's only a 30-hour transit across the channel. You put some dudes in civilian clothes and send them out. They start sabotaging things pretty quickly. And then, by that point, you have chaos on the island and you start doing all sorts of other things, sending out.
But I actually think they were actively doing that, and then the Great Purge came. That's what happened this last election, right?
I think that's why the Great Purge came. I think people were like,
they started purging them out. So they've caught a lot of these people and removed them from the country, which is something we should be doing because, come on, they caught 2 terrorists the other day. They caught 1 terrorist who openly admitted where was he from? Some Middle Eastern country, and he was here to blow something up in New York. He admitted to
Armenia.
it.
Yeah, Armenia.
And I mean, and you got other ones out there. Just look, we have allowed a 5th column into our country. We're going to be, when we get into it with somebody, sooner or later, we're going to have problems with this.
Something could erupt in the middle of the country.
You see the Chinese, there's cranes that we have at the various ports.
Oh, yeah.
Port of Oakland that have Chinese, have modems in them. And the people who purchased these cranes, these industrial-sized cranes, are like, what's this for? Nobody knows. Well, I think we can all figure it out. There's also been a ton of probes in telecommunications assets in Guam, electric utilities in Hawaii, all along kind of the eastern seaboard in an operation called Volt Typhoon by the Chinese over the last year and a half or so. So they're definitely prepping the battlefield for something. Yeah, and I think the best time for them to strike is in April or May, probably in April. The other weird thing, again, if you get really kind of go down the rabbit hole on this, there was a huge transaction on buying puts for NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA, most of its assets, that company that had like you know, had a massive rise in it's almost $1 trillion of market cap. Well, most of their chips are made on Taiwan. So somebody just put in this massive order for puts that expire in 2 weeks on April 5th. And they're normally, I think the volume's like, it's like 37 maybe contracts or whatever. This was like 30 times that in terms of transactions. Again, it's just a data point, but there's something going on. If we're putting the first Special Forces group on Kinmen Island, a mile from the Chinese shore, and we have ships out there, we're seeing signals that are indicating that. And this is the best year for China. By the way, it's the year of the dragon too. Take that.
Yes, it is.
Well,
dragons breathe fire.
Well, Trump had been telling him he wanted to. He was, because Trump came down on China. See, if it wouldn't be for Trump, China would have surpassed us in our economy. Thanks to Trump, their asses are going backwards now.
Yes, that's what I was going to bring up. Yeah,
they
have to go colonial now. They have to go.
Well, it was like when he asked Merkel, "Why are you buying oil from Russia? They're your enemy. They're not your ally. Why are you making your enemy rich?" And and Putin used all of that, but now Putin's kind of broke. So we'll have to see where all that goes. But China. The problem for Ping is Ping, he's got a dual problem. He wants Taiwan bad. He wants all that technology. He wants it bad. Problem is, do you risk going to war with the United States, or worse, risk the United States just cutting you off completely and Europe cutting you off completely, and you go back to being a third world country? It won't matter if you have the chips, because you won't have the money to do anything with them. So right now they're hurting bad because the U.S. has cut off about half of what we normally buy from them. So is China. And a lot of that was over COVID, and a lot of that was sanctions, but we're still buying stuff. So if we completely quit buying them, who's going to buy from them? Russia ain't got any money. Who's going to buy from Venezuela, Cuba, a couple of countries in Africa? No, they need people with money. They need Europe and the United States. Without them, they are a third world country again.
Well, in China, they're economically hurting, like you said, and the people there are actually doing without.
What's sad is I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, David. What's sad is China could probably be worked out to be, if Russia if Russia had become a democracy, China could probably be worked into saying, okay, look, I just want to be part of the world. We want to be stinking richies like the Europeans and the Americans, and we just want to enjoy our lives. I think China could be brought around to that, but right now, thinking they have Russia as a backup makes them feel like they don't have to take any bullshit. And even though they do take a lot of BS from us. They're not scared of Biden, but they are scared of Trump. Yeah. She's scared of Trump. And
the thing is, though, if he does this year, he might not have to worry about Trump, right? Because that might. I mean, just think about it. There's several things he could do. There have been 24,000 Chinese nationals that have flooded into the country. Even if just 1% of those people are saboteurs, you send them to every power transformer in the country, and you blow it up, you can starve. 90% of the U.S. population starves in a month.
Well, you damn Yankees are going to starve. You California people are going to starve. Shit ain't going to happen down here now. One to start off with, we actually have dogs and people that patrol our power plant. So have fun. And coon asses will just shoot you just because you don't look like you belong down here.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of dangerous people coming across our southern border. But in Florida, just last week, they had a boat of 25 Haitians that come in to Florida, and they were well armed. They have ammunition, bombs, and everything on the boat, and they intercepted them and arrested them and took all the bombs and guns. What were they planning? I mean,
well, have you been following what's going on in Haiti?
Yeah, it's
barbecue. Yeah, barbecue is the leader. Yeah, barbecue likes to eat the people.
Yeah,
literally.
He takes a bite.
Yeah. So there's so much instability there. Expect
Which I don't know why we haven't gone in and taken. What I've never understand about the United States is we should just take the whole entire island chain from Cuba all the way down to the bottom, just before you get to the other side of the Gulf. Because really and truly, once we take Cuba, the rest of them countries are going to be inside of our intercoastal waters anyway. So, and Cuba's already inside of our waters. I never understood the thing with Cuba. I was like, Cuba is here. Just make it a state, or make it two states. But bring it in, make it two states. The Cuban people are not going to fight it. They're going to love it.
They
there's
want
not
to be
that
part
many,
of the US.
There's not that many people you got to get rid of on Cuba for them to be happy to be part of the United States. Raul, I don't even know and I think if you told Raul we were going to kill you, I think he'd say, I'll be American.
Yeah.
I don't think
well, from Aruba to the Bahamas, we have travel restrictions. It's getting very unstable in the Caribbean.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of idiots down there.
Yeah.
We got to. What do you mean, Jimmy Lee? No, the people on the planet right now are just aggravated. So America had hit one of its peaceful zones. Finally, we were out of wars. We were just chilling, and then Putin got to go over there and get his feathers all ruffled, go start a fight with the Ukraine because of the Nazis. Okay, Putin, I love you, Putin. I always thought you was a cool dude. I want to know what effing Nazis are, dude. I'm getting aggravated now.
And he's been there 2 years. Where are they?
If we're gonna say, okay, you want us to get out of this war and stop giving the Ukraine money, America will get behind you if you can show us some freaking Nazis. I mean, come on, just pull some out of the ground or something. Put some freaking SWAT stickers on them or something. I'm like, God.
Did anybody think about who's paying these military age guys, the illegal aliens coming into the country? Who's paying them? I heard that sometimes the UN is paying some of these people. Is that a conspiracy?
I wouldn't. Well, what's his name? Who's in charge of the UN right now? That guy's anti-American.
Yeah.
It's just the problem for the world is the U.S. has too much power and too much control to make us an enemy. It's just a dangerous game to play with us that way. I even noticed Saudi said, "Oh, we're going to go with this other money." I noticed Saudi's still been buying a lot of shit in U.S. lately. Saudi's like, maybe not. Maybe we're going to have to rethink this shit with China and Russia since they look like they both going bankrupt.
Right.
Well, frankly, that's part of Russia's thing. I mean, Russia is on the way to bankruptcy. China is on the way to bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. The problem is when you take a country, everything away from a country, and you don't leave them anything, then of course the next thing for them to do is to start a fight.
Yeah, they get hungry. They
have nowhere to go. They need spoils and territory. Right. Absolutely.
China can be handled not by JoJo, but Trump could handle him, and there's a lot of other people in this country that could handle him. She, like I said, he's losing power right now. If it keeps going like this, we're going to see a new communist leader in China, and he was supposed to be there for another 20 or 30 years. So I don't want to see him go anywhere. He doesn't want a nuclear war. And if America would just remove its chips from Taiwan, we wouldn't give a good shit if he took Taiwan, because we don't acknowledge that Taiwan is its own separate entity. We just said we'll keep you safe because you want to be independent. That's another thing. Why did we ever give Hong Kong back? We should let Hong Kong have its independence.
Well, Hong Kong wasn't under our territory. It was.
Yeah. But what I mean is because the Brits owes us lots of favors, we should have just said make it an independent territory. Like 5 years before it was time to give it back, said we're going to give you independence, and they could have just become an independent territory, just like Taiwan. And then Hong Kong, and Russia China would have had a lot harder time dealing with this. So sometimes or my favorite is MacArthur in the World War II. Let's just take Russia and China now, make them part of the United States.
He was right.
And not have to worry about this ever again in the world. And he was right. Everybody else in the Congress was wrong. He was
that was Patton. Yeah, that was Patton.
Was it Patton? Yeah, it was Patton. Yeah, I think it was
Patton. End of World War II.
Notice that Patton had an automobile accident shortly after that.
Well, some type of automobile part killed Patton. Yeah, I'm still some unidentified part of the automobile part killed.
Well, y'all might be optimistic, but I don't think there will be a nuclear war. I don't think Putin or Xi is going to risk being annihilated. And
not a big one, but a tactical one. I wouldn't put it past Putin for him to drop one that's going to destroy a city or two.
I don't think because I think once you take the genie out of that bottle, it's over. Life is over.
So let's say Russia,
it's done.
Let's say Russia surfaces 2 nuke subs on each side of the United States, takes out DC, takes out New York, takes out Los Angeles, takes out San Francisco, takes out Houston, takes out New Orleans, takes out Chicago. It would be minutes because that's all it'd take the nukes to get there from a submarine. Mm-hmm. So what's the next thing? They just killed 30, 40, 50 million people in the United States. We're not even going to give a shit at that point. We're just going to launch 2,500 nuclear missiles, and there's not going to be anything left of Russia.
Well, here's a scarier scenario.
Or Europe or China or anybody.
Here's a scarier scenario. What if the Russians send a sub with high explosive torpedoes, something like that, take out, I think there's an island in the Canary Islands that has like a caldera that is like, it just needs like there's little instability. You blow that thing up, and you'd cause a tidal wave that would wipe out the eastern seaboard.
You can do that
Without
too.
firing a nuclear shot.
Yeah, that's right.
But
There's
still
other
won't
ways.
matter. We're still going to retaliate.
Yeah.
Well,
and
how
you
do
guys
you
were
know?
worried about me earlier.
How do you know who did it? It's like the Nord Stream pipeline. Who did that?
Oh, we know who
Right?
did it.
We know.
We know exactly who did the Nord Stream pipeline. I'm pretty sure they had a red, white, and blue patch on their sleeve too. when they were down
No,
there.
it could have been the Brits. It could have been the Brits.
I
think
just
it was
said
the
red,
Brits.
white, and blue, didn't I? It's a red, white, and
Red,
blue.
white,
Yeah,
and blue.
that's true. You covered
England,
both.
America,
That's good.
Puerto
Good.
Rico. The original
Biden.
Russian flag was red, white, and blue. So it could be
Yeah,
anybody.
Union Jack. Yeah.
Biden wouldn't know. He wouldn't know. Heck, if his staff did something like
Biden.
that, he wouldn't know.
Biden don't even know where his damn dog is half the time, so I thought he's biting people.
Yeah, he's biting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I feel that I think it's going to be mutual destruction, like they always said.
Yeah.
And Sean, you just said that too.
Well, let's be happy that who was it? Reagan and them started the treaties. And remember, we used to have 12,000, almost 13,000 nukes. Russia had 13,000. And out of that, I think something like 8,000 were deployed, maybe 9,000. Do you realize the damage? I mean, there was nothing. The whole entire top of the planet would be gone. There would be nothing left. Everything would either be burned, dead, or irradiated. All the water on the planet would be irradiated. And about 500,000 years, something might pop up, and or maybe the people living underground might come out, like in what's that? The time. What is that movie? When they come out of the caves and they're all white and shit. What the hell is that movie? Time. Oh, I can't think of it.
There's been so many of those kind of movies. Yeah.
What's the H.G. Wells movie? Time Machine. Yeah. And so it'd be something like that.
I think the number, Joe, is 6,500 or 6,400 nukes for us, and there's about 7,600 for Russia.
Not anymore.
It's less
right
than
now.
that.
Not anymore. No,
ago.
We've got somewhere around 5,200. I think 2,300 are deployed. Well, we just did these recently. That's why we know that. We just
and it was like 3,200 were deployed for Russia or something like that.
So Russia's always a few more ahead of us. Always. Now our fleet's bigger than Russia, but it's smaller than China's. But our fleet is way the hell newer than Russia.
No, I was just looking at the Russia's fleet. It looks pretty large. Like I said, they don't have a lot of capital ships.
Yeah, no, they had like 50 submarines or
huge
something.
fleet of frigates and corvettes. I mean, we're talking 50, 60 ships. Just
it's World War II models, and you keep them down.
Maybe. I don't know.
They couldn't even catch up to us.
Ukraine sunk about 4 of them so far, haven't they?
I think they sunk
at least 4 ships, and then a couple of them were capital ships.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I know they sunk a Corvette for sure.
Real quick trivia question. We were talking about, red, white, and blue country could be any country. Can anyone tell me what the Russian naval jack flag, what colors are on it?
No.
Red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue, Sean. And this is what it looks like.
Evil Russia.
And watch out. It's on my thing. That's it right there. That is the Russian naval jack. Red,
that looks
white,
like the Icelandic flag. It looks like sort of like the Icelandic flag.
Yeah, it does. Also looks like
very, very close. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the Union Jack too, just like you were saying.
It's the Russians' naval jack flag.
Wow.
So we're gonna change gears here for a few minutes, just because I've been getting people writing to me all day about this. Yes, the Princess Kate has said she's got cancer.
Yes.
Okay, so all I want to say here is,
hey, Sean Kelly, do you give a shit?
So
I'm Irish. I don't give a shit.
All I'm going to say here is, I fucking told you so. I'm saying it just like that. I fucking told you so, people.
I tell you what, I care. I'm sorry, Joe, but I gotta say, it, man.
Get in there, baby. Tear it up. You've been crying.
Is this the "I told you so," Joe?
Oh man, I talked. To
Joe. we got to let him learn. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
Teach him, Sean. Teach him, baby. Get out there, tell him.
You know what? I'm fucking tired of hearing these conspiracy theorists saying that she was dead. I got tired of hearing that
aliens took her.
No, that she divorced William. And, everyone came up with this conspiracy theory. So I'm watching TV tonight. She comes on and tells the world that she's got cancer. Mm-hmm. Why can't they leave them alone?
Well, hopefully now they will.
Well, they're not going to because of who she is.
Well, because they suck up billions of dollars of British taxpayer money, so they can't leave her alone. Well, right? Why? Could you imagine if we had some frumpy, people with crowns and stuff like that just vacuuming up tax money and all this, and we get to go into their gossip and all that stuff.
Obama, Hollywood.
Talking about Barack Obama. That's what he's talking about.
I might spit some conspiracy out here, but isn't the Pope and the Crown of England, aren't they part of the cabal? or the rich elites.
They you know,
Who
all that
knows?
stuff gets iffy. All that
Well-
stuff gets iffy. But look, their problem is it's people just love this woman. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why all this shit started.
Mhm.
All these conspiracies, because they were all worried about what's Kate. I mean, they love this
And the
woman.
damn.
You think it was
damn-
bad when Diane died? If this woman dies,
Yeah.
it's going to be shitting for their
Yeah.
country's
Well,
going to
you know
flip
what?
out.
You know what? The media over in England are fucking crazy, dude.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
They are worse
England,
than
man. What
us.
do you think?
Sean,
Of course it
Sean-
is. They're way worse than us.
Yeah, Sean, you talked about conspiracies. That the worst wild one I heard is that they sacrificed Princess Kate. The Illuminati sacrificed her. That was the
Oh
worst
my-
conspiracy
yeah,
I
oh my
heard.
God.
I mean, that shit
Wow.
never. There was so many conspiracies on what happened to this poor woman,
Yeah,
and now we find out she's got cancer. You know, hopefully she's going to be okay. Hopefully they caught
Yeah.
it early and they're going to take care of it. You know, but for all you conspiracy people, look, this should teach you a lesson. You just making nothing but grim shit on this woman. Probably, this woman's reading this stuff too. It's probably going, oh my God, the world is a bunch of idiots.
yeah.
And, you know,
Man, you know what? I give kudos to the royal family for not keeping their mouth shut for 2 months, man.
now, and
With
on,
that-
now
about
we're gonna flip the shoe here. Now, being that if I was a citizen of England and this was my princess who's going to be my future queen, I'd want to know what the bleeping was going on.
Yes.
So this is the problem when you get to this point. Are you afforded privacy when you're in this position? Well, we don't give Hollywood privacy, do we?
Nope.
No, we're like, screw you. If we catch you doing anything,
Yeah.
we don't give a shit what the hell
And,
you
and
doing.
Hollywood's not vacuuming up tax dollars, right? Like,
So,
I'm
No,
sorry,
but it's the same kind of culture though, with people stalking, famous people for pictures and scandals and this, that.
sure.
and the
I'm
other
just
thing.
saying the Hollywood thing's not okay, but I think the British people have every right to do this behavior because they're paying for it.
Yeah, well,
That's
Prince William, he's still not out of the woods as far as the theories
he's
are
not.
concerned because he messed around. They said he messed around. So we don't know about that yet. That's not cleared up.
but it looks like none of that's going to even matter because what it's going to look like is his dad's going to probably get off the throne and give it to him.
Mhm.
He's going to probably take over with a sick wife and 3 kids. So we'll have to see where this goes.
Yeah, look, it's terrible that a woman has cancer, but the fact that, I don't think she gets any special privilege given that she's already privileged. in so many
She's
ways.
very privileged, and she's going to have the
Yeah.
best doctors and the best care, and it's not stuff.
Right.
If we had the same cancer, we wouldn't get that kind of treatment.
Right.
So it is unfair, But the British
and I
people
agree
want
with
it,
that.
though. But
There's
the
a,
British
there's a-
people want it. See, this is what's surprising me about the Brits. I know there was a time back, and it was like the 80s or early 90s, that they wanted the monarchy. They don't want it going. They want it. I mean, they're overwhelmingly popular right now. And it's just and look, I'm all cool with that. I mean, we want things in our country too. We had the Kennedys or whatever came after that. But what do you mean the Trumps?
yeah. There's
When we come back from next break, we're gonna get into the elections and stuff like that. But I sent out a video to a lot of people today. It's a bunch of presidents dancing with their like first ladies. I noticed something. It's a pretty good video. It's how they phase you in and out. Michelle Obama wasn't there, and if she was disguised, and Hillary Clinton wasn't
She was
there.
wearing a tux.
But Bill and Barack was there. I mean, but
I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
Michael.
We're not talking Mike
Michael.
Obama here. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not
Michael
going there.
Obama.
yes, we're not talking about Michael. Michael might put a hit out on y'all people. Y'all should
Yeah.
tell you that. That's like talking about Putin, man. That is dangerous stuff
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Prince Harry could almost have been a king for about 6 years because if something happened to Prince William, he quit and he got caught up in all kinds of illegal things, then he would be out. And his son, who's William Jr., he's 12 now, and he would be next to the throne. And if King Charles dropped out, but Harry would actually be next in line. He would serve 6 years until the boy become 18, then he would give the throne to him. That is a 1930 Regency. It's 1937.
Is Charles
law.
really his dad though? Like, doesn't he look like?
No,
Doesn't he look
no,
like?
no,
what's
And
her
I
name's
think
dad?
you're
I
right.
think they would charge. I think they would challenge Harry's political.
Yeah.
He does look. He looks like the Trudeau thing. He
that
looks like that.
lieutenant
He looks like that horse guy, man. The guy with the horse.
Yeah,
man,
he does.
They had
the riding instructor, right?
Man, yeah, the riding
And then
instructor.
Charles was cheating too, so it's not like Diana didn't have the right?
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
Diana did
it's
a lot
not
of
like-
cheating. Yeah.
It's
both of them
it's
did.
the
I mean,
English palace. It's Dutch door action. Everybody's visiting everyone else's.
There was a
bedroom
lot of
tonight.
cheating going on both sides in there, but regardless, that he didn't. I don't think Harry's his son, and I think he knows Harry's not his son.
Wait, is there a definition, like a formal definition of Dutch door action?
Yeah, that's correct.
I don't know if there's a formal definition.
Yeah.
I just stole it from Wayne's World. That's all I got. I don't have no idea what it means, but it's
royal
appropriate.
Yeah, a royal bang. Yeah, a royal bang.
What is that, Jackie? No. What do you mean? Well, I know you're an American and you don't give a good shit about the royal, but they're fun to talk about. I mean, really.
Yeah.
See, Jackie knows. Jackie knows. She must be Irish.
I'm with Sean too.
God bless her heart.
Back in the 80s, I was in high school.
Screw
And
them
we had,
people.
the wedding of Princess Di and Charles, and the whole planet went, bat guano crazy over it. And I'm like, who cares? They're not American celebrities.
You know what they were chanting in Ireland when Queen
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth died? You know what they were chanting in Ireland when Queen Elizabeth dies?
Yeah.
Lizzie's in a box, in a box. Lizzie's in a box. Anyway, very happy.
Killed. No God, how many of them got killed because of her? Oh, by the way, the Russian fleet is big enough. It's 417 ships. I think we're only at like.
I told you, I was looking at it.
Really?
It's huge,
Yeah.
dude.
Wow.
It's enormous.
I didn't
big
know
enough.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have a bunch of
They've got,
tiny,
It's all
they have a bunch of
small
tiny
ships.
ships, though.
Well,
Yeah.
Tiny ships.
They've
Four
got,
frigates,
that's
they
you
have
guys
2
are right.
battleships and 1 carrier. That's it.
What was the country that
46.
makes their little boats as a navy? Which one is that? China?
Iran.
Iran.
Yeah,
Okay.
Iran. Really?
Iran might be making some of their smaller boats, like the minesweepers and the landing craft and stuff like that. Yeah, and the
But they've got almost 70 submarines though.
Yeah, but they're all old 1980s. World
So
War
they've
I
got
movies.
they've got
Sierra 1,
12.
Sierra 2, Delta 3, Delta 4, Oscars. They're all.
So
pieces of
we
shit.
were talking about their missiles. So they got 12 ballistic missile submarines.
What do we got? 50.
I don't know. We got a few. They got 11 cruise missile submarines, 13 nuclear attack submarines, 21 diesel. Well, okay, the 21 diesels don't even count. They're going to be.
But if you keep looking, no Typhoon class. They don't have any more Typhoons.
So wait, ballistic missile and nuclear attack. What's the difference? So we got 12.
Okay,
I
so
think
a nuclear
attack
sub is a sub that attacks nuclear submarines.
Oh, so it's like a wolf pack sub. Okay,
It's a sub killer. It's what do they call it? Anti sub weapon.
Well, we call them the wolf pack.
And then
but why is it called nuclear? Is it because it just has a nuclear reactor, or is it
because it has a nuclear reactor? But it's also called nuclear because it targets specifically nuclear attack boats.
Yeah, and how close are they to our eastern coast? These submarines.
These submarines fly. No,
they get pretty close.
They get close all the time. They stay outside the 100-mile radius because that could be considered an act of war. But well, they say they do. Now if we don't.
I mean, it doesn't matter. They can launch. They don't need to get that close to launch.
Yeah, but they also I don't know if ours is better, but
they
have hyper accurate scans of the Atlantic, so they have chasms and caverns under there that they've been able to hide their ships in, and they've actually lost a couple of subs in there. The Hunt for Red October, written by what's his name, is actually based on an actual event where they lost one of their subs, and we had to help them go find it back in the 80s. And I think the sub was lost, all hands on board. But yeah, of course we wanted to help them because guess what? We get on board, we can see some of their top secret stuff. They have a very large navy.
Did we give Poland F-22s? You got to be shitting me! No way we got F-22.
Yeah.
No way, we could not have done that.
We didn't give them to them. They're probably based there.
That's the intense activity over the Russian long-range bombing, including T-35, T-22s, MiG-31s. Yeah, we know they're doing that. So,
Poland's not a bad country, though. I mean, they stopped their illegal immigration. They stopped
zero.
Yeah.
Although no, I think they're pushing it in now. They changed the leader. They did something that
went to a liberal leader.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Well, it's not saying what they got, but it's showing the F-22 in the picture.
Isn't that the Raptor?
Maybe we have 4 deployed F-22s there or something.
Is that the Raptor, the F-22?
Yeah, the Widowmaker. Yeah, the F-22. That's a beast. The best aircraft on the planet. even F-35 people hate to say it, but it's the best aircraft on the planet.
Now, you guys might know, but when we sell these aircraft like the F-22, we don't give them all the technology.
They don't get our weapon systems. No, they put their own weapon systems on in that country.
Yeah,
and most of the parts they still got to buy from us anyway.
Maybe we'll give the Brits everything, but
Brits will. We give Brits
if there's a World War III,
manufacturing
I
rights.
guarantee the Lend-Lease Act is coming back, and we'll be trading stuff back and forth to England. No problem.
No, it says the U.S. is likely to deploy at least 20 or 30 F-22s. So it's funny when they say stuff like that because you're thinking, Russia's going to send 100 jets at them. 20 F-22s could easily take on 100 Russian jets easily.
Yes,
one F-22 could take on 100 Russian jets.
Well, now poor Russia can't even see us, and we can see them long before they can see us, so we can kill them long before they even know we're around.
Right.
Even if they do get in sight range, allegedly the F-22 has sight-on-sight cloaking, so it can be invisible to the naked eye.
What is that? 25-mile range in air battles? 25 or 30 miles.
I think whatever it was, they doubled it. Whatever the original was, and they're not going to tell us what it actually is, but
top secret.
But it showed it. So it showed itself. Iran was running some Russian top secret, stealth stuff for finding stealth jets. This is by their own admission, by the way. Mm-hmm. So they're saying they're going to find our stealth jets, and they were bragging about it. And that's when you seen that F-22 pilot flying upside down underneath that F-4 Phantom going, don't you think you should turn around? I'm thinking, now that's only an F-4 Grand. So then they show it was a MiG-31. MiG-31's cruising along, and MiG-31s are fast, by the way.
Yeah.
It's cruising along. There's an F-22 right behind. He has no idea it's back there. Not even a clue. The guy that intercepted, I didn't know we could intercept Russian radio. So they're listening to them talking back and forth to base. He's not talking, and then you hear the F-22 pilot break in. Not only can we listen, we can break in. It's just.
Isn't that kind of like driving a Volkswagen around a Corvette?
But I didn't understand. I didn't understand though why. So we decided to opt for the F-35. So we quit making F-22s at somewhere around 122 or 142 or something like that. Now it's not that they couldn't tool up and start making them again, but for some reason they didn't want to do it. So we get these F-35s, and these bitches can't even land on our two brand new aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever that was needs to be fired. I mean, I don't even know how to express myself over that, because you just gotta wonder, really, okay, you're going to replace everything the Navy has for one type of jet, and they don't like landing the F-22s on them because it's something to do with the front sensor package. They've been working on how they can bring the front end down softer on the carrier. Now, if you ever watch a skilled pilot with F-18, he can put that bitch down like barely.
Yeah. Do they come down vertically? I mean, like a jet, a F-22, or one of them will go over and just come down vertically.
Well, both of them have planes but see, that's the thing. Not all F-22s and F-35s are made for vertical takeoff. Yeah. It's not. People think that all of them are made like that, but it's not. It's just certain types.
Ones, yeah.
Yeah, and they all have their different names. And like the F-35s, there's like, I think 11 versions. Like the F-16, there's like 14 versions of the F-16.
Yeah.
And so it's just, we design planes to do specific things for specific reasons. We want to see them how fast they can go. Or the F-35 is a great jet. I mean,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
But the F-22 is a better jet. But yet we opted to go with the one that was, because according to, they're a little bit cheaper and we're mass producing them. And they are still, there's nothing that Russia and China has that can mess with the F-35. And with the F-22 as backup, what are you going to do? I mean, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. You guys have been doing an excellent job with this military stuff, and I really am learning a few things from you guys. I'm going to sign off, Joe. I want to thank you for inviting me.
Oh, no problem, man. You have a good one, baby.
Hey, Dave, pleasure to meet you, buddy.
Pleasure to meet all you guys. Yeah. And
good seeing you again, Dave.
Yeah, good seeing you, Jay. Thank you so much. And Joe, thank you. And I'm going to take off. Goodbye.
Bye. What in the hell? Where'd that come from? I keep losing y'all.
We're here.
No. I mean on the screens. I've been moving screens around. I was looking.
You got too much stuff open.
You still got that ticker going. It's been going all night, man.
Yeah, I forgot about
Stick around.
Oh well, so let them have some fun with it. I wonder how I got the wrong one in there.
We still haven't started yet.
So there we go. There's the right one right there.
There we go.
Well, yeah, people they'll have.
Oh, hey, real quick, I saw an article, Sean Kelly. You'll like this about the immigration thing. Is it the governor? No, it's one of the senators, a Republican senator. I forget the guy's name. He ran for governor and lost to what's his name. He's calling for the state of Pennsylvania to send Pennsylvania National Guard to help Texas with their border crisis.
Right.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. But Shapiro came back and said he's not going to do it.
Did he? I didn't read that. Yeah. But the article I read, he said he hadn't spoken to Shapiro yet. But we had used it before in another state to help with I forget what it was.
I like the idea. Shapiro came back and said we are not sending any of our men down to Texas. It has nothing to do with us.
Well, it will if they come across the border. And
I mean, don't they have sanctuary cities? Isn't Philadelphia a sanctuary city?
This is what's going to happen now. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Our great, wonderful Texas governor is going to load up about 5,000 of them on buses and send them to Pennsylvania.
I hope not. Don't send them to Waynesboro, buddy.
He's sending them. You can bet your ass.
Oh, they're definitely going to Pittsburgh.
It's not going to be the first trip. No. So he's going to probably keep doing this until they decide to help out, because everybody said, he can't do it. Well, no, he's sending to Chicago. He's sending to New York. He's sending to Baltimore. He's sending to D.C. He ain't got no fear. And his good buddy down there in Florida will help him out. So that's what they're going to do. They're just going to send them up. They said, well, you don't want to come help us with them. We're going to send them to you and you can deal with
you need to change your governor, John.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's
he's a Democrat.
He's a dick.
Well, when you get about 25,000 or 35,000 illegals running around your state, you'll start thinking about it.
Well, it'll be too late by that point, because he probably wants that, because they'll all vote.
Oh, did you hear what they're doing in Pittsburgh now?
What's that?
From the hours of 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., there is no police at all in the whole city. There's only a total of 24 policemen to cover all the zones in Pittsburgh. And if you have, it's like you have to file a report over the phone. No policeman's going to come to you and take your report. You have to file it over the phone.
I'm telling you what. You're already seeing it in New York. You see what happened in New York with all the squatting laws, right? That this woman comes home to her parents' house, which she inherited, and there's people sitting in there. She calls the police. She's the one that gets arrested. So what you're going to see, Sean, and this is going to happen throughout the country, you're going to start to see either the mob reemerge or a series of vigilante groups. Because then what happened is these two guys showed up at the place, at the house, because they saw this on the news. And they said, hey, we're just here to talk to you. And then immediately, of the 3 squatters, 2 left. And there's still 1 holdout. So, people are going to start taking matters into their own hands. I mean, it's bad, but you know what? If they don't have the support, if the police don't have the support of the politicians, people are going to take matters into their own hands.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And they so-called took a poll saying nothing's going to happen.
You're going to have 24 police officers to cover a huge city like Pittsburgh.
Yes, sir.
That's when all the criminals are going to be out anyway.
It's going to be a purge.
It's going to be
a purge. You're going to have purges every night. And that's coming down the pipe.
That's why I own guns, because I'll be purging somebody's ass, all right. Martha and I'll be going, oh, you want to meet your maker soon? Come on over here.
At least
my buddy today told me about a link that he found where I forget the name of it, but you can build an AR with everything except the lower receiver for $300. Then you go over to the FFL gun dealer, you buy the lower receiver part for $70. There you have a $1,600 gun normally for $300 or $400.
Yeah, and I never understand why they wanted all that money for them junky ass guns.
Yeah,
you don't buy a gun, buy a real.
You're paying for the plastic, really.
It's a friend of mine say, "Well, that's a cool gun." I said, "I'll keep my 30-06 anytime, buddy."
Yeah.
I'll kill your ass at 3/4 of a mile. You won't even hear it. Doom.
Hey, I've got a Winchester 94 backpacker. It holds 12 45 Colt bullets. I can tag you out to it about 100 yards. You get any closer than that, and I'm going to hit you all 12 times. So that's more than plenty gun for me.
Yeah, this Ruger will get you. It easily will get you at 3/4 of a mile. Especially if I'm using like 240 grains in it, it'll easily just boop. And the bitch part is all you'll hear is.
Yeah, you'll hear the whistle of the bullet. What's
you
that?
You won't even hear the rifle go off. You'll just hear.
The bullet will hit you before the report of the gun hits you. Absolutely.
That's right. You'll be like, "What the hell just killed me?" Yeah, you might hear the shot as you're hitting the ground. That's when you can hit it. No, guys, we got to take a break right quick. No, we weren't being morbid. I'm sorry, people. What? I don't want to live in cities. Look, I used to live in the city of New Orleans. It's dangerous down there. Why do you think I carry a gun? Because it's dangerous down there. People will mug you, steal your car, steal your money, still steal your gun. You give them half a chance. Oh, hell yeah, they will. But we'll talk about that more too.
Most criminals get their guns, people, by stealing them.
That's right. But we're going to take a break right quick. So I want everyone to stay tuned for this break. I forgot who we got coming up next. I think it was Megadeth. Let's see. Share screen. Let's go find it right quick. Yes. So everybody hang on. We'll see y'all in about 3 or 4 minutes and enjoy the music. Yes. Oh, wait, don't get stupid, computer. Yeah, that thing wanted to do its own little thing there for a minute.
Monster High Ultimate Secrets Neon Fright Series. Color-changing keys. Unlock 4 secret compartments with 19 plus surprises inside that glow in the dark. Monster High Ultimate Secrets Neon Frights. Each sold separately.
Oh no, the evil people have come back to remove us from hell. Well, we got 2 songs out of that somehow or another, but that works for me. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, where is my lovely, beautiful face? Oh, there it is. Hello. There I am. Lovely screen back there. No, I'm telling you, I was having flashbacks of like flashes of Sean in a tank to that music, just rolling on, just blowing shit up. No, really, I can just see you, man, just blowing shit up. Say, oh, really? You thought you were smart? Watch this. Oh shit, what was that? I can just see it going along. It's for people, you need good music when you're blowing shit up. I'm telling y'all. Yeah. Have y'all never seen any Vietnam movies? I mean, really, come on.
Yeah. Painted Black.
Peter, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah, you're talking about that one. Okay, yeah. No, that's a oh, that was a gift from Writers of the Future. Yeah, it's a Frank Frazetta copy. It's like copy 86 signed, numbered, the whole 9 yards. It's from Battlefield Earth. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's you don't always see it because I don't always have my cameras facing that way. It's just facing different ways tonight. I don't know, but again, I can just see. So when we're in battle, y'all, we be in a jet show, we down here blowing shit up. We blow some more shit up.
Did you see the A10? Did you see the A10 in the video? I saw that. Oh, yeah. I got you know what? Oh man.
Yeah, man. Warthog is just such a beast. It's well, you know, if you're an American tanker, the A10's great to see. If you're on the other side, you
don't want to see that.
Start praying you're gonna meet your maker really soon, man.
It just sounds like it's got that bird.
Yeah. Gun has a distinct burp to it.
Is that all what the A10's for is blowing up tanks?
Yeah,
it's a tank killer, and it's not just a tank killer in respect. It's a tank. It has 3 redundant hydraulic systems. I have seen these things come on with missing chunks of wings, all kind of bullet holes in them. I mean, they're just beastified. It's hard to kill one, and they're old. I mean, people don't realize how old they are, and the Air Force we can get rid of them. The Air Force
they're from Vietnam, aren't they?
Yeah, the Air Force realized we're not getting rid of these things. These things just kill stuff.
It's a beast.
It wasn't the Air Force, so the Army's like, all right, we'll do it. And they're like, well.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, we'll take them. No, what do you mean you'll take them? Yeah, we'll take them. Wait, we're going to get rid of them. No, we're going to take them. You don't need to get rid of them. We'll go ahead and put new wings on them and stuff. I mean,
it's one of the best ground support aircraft we've ever had.
And that's the funny part. The Air Force had designed some new wings and some new stuff, updated the engines and some other stuff. It's actually made the plane a little lighter, carry a little more fuel, can fly a little longer. It's a lot faster, and it's using composite instead of steel. So it means that the out fuselage is stronger than it was before.
Yeah, more ammo payload probably.
It has. Well, the guy was talking about small caliber weapons up to I think he said 20 cal or something. He said it'll just bounce off of it. It flexes now when it hits it.
Yeah.
And it'll let it or skim it off and bounce it off. He said, now anything big, of course, will just go right through it. He said, if you've got enough, or enough oomph behind it. What are you talking about, Christopher? No, it's what is it, 20 caliber, 30 caliber? I don't remember. It's a Gatling gun is what it is, but it's a big Gatling gun. No, man, and those are probably shooting armored. They're probably shooting depleted uranium shells too.
Yeah, they're 100% depleted uranium shells.
Yeah,
30 millimeter.
I have seen them things cut through tanks like they're nothing. I mean, they were showing one of Russia's top tanks, and they cut through it like it was just candy. And no, man, they're just beastified. I would never want to be on the other side. And I don't care what kind of armored vehicle you're in. If you see one of them coming, get out of the vehicle and run like hell. Because if you're in the vehicle, you're dead. Oh, yes. Well, so they use what they call them, Rickies or Mickeys. So when these penetrated inside of any type of armored vehicle, they would bend enough so they would ricochet. They would not repenetrate to go back out again. They would bend.
And they bounce around inside the cabin.
Oh wow!
He's a bitch, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
Sean has. You probably like this. I had a teacher in early, right before high school, 8th grade, who knew about anti-tank weapons in World War II, and it's amazing what they did. Is they had the reason why we didn't have copper pennies for a long time is they were using copper for anti-tank weapons. So inside the cone of the tank shell were 3 copper rods. The one in the middle was longer than the 2 on the sides, and when the shell hit the tank, the outer casing would burn off and heat up the outside skin of the tank, and then drive those 3 pillars of copper into that hot steel, which would then penetrate the inner hull of most tanks are double hulled. Then it would go inside the second hull, and now the copper is droplets of molten metal, and just spray the occupants inside and burn them to death with melted metal. Scary, scary, scary.
Yeah, well,
I'd rather be hit with depleted uranium. At least you die right away.
So if the Ukrainians had a squadron of A-10s, this war would be over with, right?
There wouldn't be no armored
There'd be
vehicles
no more
coming
tanks.
through. They'd be sinking ships with them bitches. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, the
after
Russians.
tanks, then
The Russians have like Sukhoi 25s, the Frogfoot.
Sukhoi 25s. They have 31s, I think, too. There's 4 or 5 different Sukhos.
Yeah, those are the Russian equivalent. You see that's a no good thing to see if you're on the American side.
Yeah, but the problem for Russia is it's more and more of its planes are getting older, getting less taken care of. They were showing a while back, it was about 5 or 6 years ago. They were showing different bases around Russia. Some Europeans were over there snuck in. Ex-Russians is what they were, and we're just showing some of the places didn't even have proper guards at them. I was like, it's looking like it doesn't look like that Russia's having an issue so much with equipment as it is manpower. It doesn't look like it's having the manpower to man the craft and to maintain the craft. It seems to be causing them a problem. And in an all-out war, when we start killing people, that's going to become a real problem. When we start blowing up pilots, you better have something to replace them with, because we're going to kill them really fast. I forgot his name. He was a very famous Russian pilot. He said, "I'll fly against any pilot in the U.S. unless he's a Navy pilot." He said, "I want to fly against him." He said, "U.S. Navy pilots are insane." He said, "They are crazy.
They are.
You have to be to land on a carrier. Yes. I mean, you're dropping onto a thing that's the size of a postage stamp from your.
They were showing. He was talking about a case. I forgot which war it was, Korea or somewhere. No, it wasn't Korea. It was after Vietnam. But he said that one of the pilots was out of ammo, was out of anything, and just said to hell with it, and just hit afterburners and rammed itself into 2 of their jets and knocked them out the sky. He said they're crazy. He said there's no way to defeat him. He said whatever it takes, they're going to come out a winner, or they're going to take you with them. He said I'd rather not fly against them.
When I was on the Independence, I was with Attack Squadron 87, and they were A7 Corsairs. And I'm telling you what, our pilots were insane. They were really
Yes, because they were
insane.
flying in raggedy ass Corsair. I know. I was in the River Rattles. I was part of an A7 squadron for a while, the River Rattle squadron.
Those were always my favorite World War II plane with them bent ass wings. Those are cool.
Yeah. Well, that's not what these look like, but these got the big
they're
huge
not the same.
duck underneath them, and these are attack craft. They can't even break. They I think they do like 650 or 600.
Yeah, they're bombers mainly.
So these son of bitches. They get up to about 550. They start rattling. It feels like the whole plane's going to blow apart. They're old raggedy pieces. I worked on a lot of them, man. They're old raggedy pieces of shit. And, but that's why the pilots used to bring you up. That's the first time I learned the pilot always wants you to fly in his craft at least once so you know what he's going through. And them damn things you get up in. And so I started making sure they had top of the line, everything. Anything I was replacing was top of the line. I'd go find the right electronics for it. I upgraded a bunch of the electronics because that shit was from like 1950 and shit. I was like, no, I'm not kidding you, man. I'm not kidding you. I popped one up the front up and I was like, and I looked. And
you know what else a crazy,
like,
crazy plane was the A6s.
A6s,
A6
intruders. Yeah, they had some oomph to them.
Oh yeah.
But the best aircraft I ever seen in combat was the F-14 Tomcat. That thing.
Oh my God! Yeah.
When I was a kid, we have a park in Potomac called Cabin John Park, and they had I guess it's a Korean War era F-89 Saberjet, gutted. I mean, the only thing that was left in it was like a pilot seat and maybe a rudimentary joystick, but you could get in the tailpipe, go through where the jet engine would be, and then you can climb up into the cockpit and pretend to shoot, people in the park, and then climb out the front nose cone. It was really, really cool.
Wow. Okay.
There's a lot of places down here you can see aircraft up close, and you can see SR-71s down here up close and personal. There's an Air Force Museum in Pensacola it's outside of Pensacola, it's in Niceville, but Niceville always scares me. They got a lot of equipment there that you can get up close and personal. There's a lot around here you can get up close and personal with too, and they had a guy wrecked his car in Pensacola because he was coming around this corner kind of fast, and he looked up. When he looked up, he seen a Huey leaning to the side. He thought it was flying. Of course, it wasn't flying. It was stuck on a pole. It's part of a park, an exposition. The guy just totaled his car, and somebody else is too funny. He really thought he's actually seen a helicopter flying across the front of him. But no. There's a lot of aircraft out here. They're all scattered all over the deep south, man. I mean, there's freaking jets everywhere. And like anytime we get ready to go to war, I can tell you long before anybody else knows we're going to war, because all of a sudden we will see shit rolling out on trains left and right. We'll see planes in the skies 24/7 doing all sorts of shit. We'll see helicopters, sorties, nonsense.
You seeing that stuff now, Joe?
Yeah, we've been seeing some. We haven't seen a jet yet, but we have seen a decent amount of equipment rolling out, CB equipment. And CB means they're going to be building something so somebody can get to somewhere. And we also have been seeing a lot of helicopters.
Yeah, you showed them one. There's
like a train at night that it never operates during the day. I don't know why, but there's been an increased, like every night, activity's starting to pick up.
Yeah, I've been seeing, and it's funny. You can kind of tell now what's going on by the color of the equipment being moved around. So a while back, all we were seeing was that old brownish tan shit that was coming. It was shit we were bringing back from the desert, moving around.
Is it green? Is it
Army
green?
What we're seeing is green. This isn't. These are fresh paint jobs too. You can tell on a lot of them. So they're thinking of a different theater now. They're not thinking of
which direction. Which are they going, east or west?
Actually, you've been seeing both. So what you've been seeing mostly, you've been seeing stuff rolling out of the Pensacola areas, and Alabama and Georgia area headed out to the middle of the country.
Yeah, if Fort Stewart and the one in Savannah are throwing a lot of planes out, that they're moving stuff to strategic areas.
And Fort Polk just moved a large quantity of troops. So it's never good when they're moving troops around. When they start moving troops around, it's pretty much guaranteeing we're going to go fight with somebody. And
what's the one in Biloxi?
Keesler.
Keesler.
There's a CB base in
Is-
Biloxi, and there's a Keesler Air Force base in Biloxi.
Is Fort Polk still 2nd ACR, 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment?
It might be. It might be. I don't know. I haven't heard in a while. We got some friends that live down in the area. That's the only reason I know what goes on down there. And every now and then they'll get us, hey, you know what's, they'll call me or something and write to me and say, hey, Joe, is there something going on? We got a lot of troops moving around, a lot of stuff. I mean, sometimes they're just moving troops around because they have war games going on in the country somewhere.
Yeah, they train down there. That's but that would be the place that you probably train a little bit in Hawaii, but you'd also train down there for a Taiwan scenario.
Yeah, and then get used to the climate, the old hot, nasty, funky ass climate. Well, Carolyn, it's nobody wants to go to war, but the U.S. needs to be prepared for it. So at least these woke generals are paying attention at the Pentagon. At least I think they are. Obviously, Biden's not, but so no. The only way Biden could stand in a wartime scenario is if it was like really a World War III scenario, and I don't think the U.S. would even tolerate it because they wouldn't.
By the way, you see what happened in Niger?
Yeah.
We have this massive, we spent tens of millions of dollars, it's like over $100 million on building this drone base in Niger to handle operating activity in the Sahel or what a part of Africa, and they sent a Marine Corps general and these 2 women to Niger. Now Niger, very chauvinistic culture and stuff like that. So somebody in the State Department obviously wasn't paying attention. One of the women was highly qualified, very smart, but just did not read the room, right? Not her, but the people setting this up. So they went down there, and it was, they talked to the head of this junta that took over, and they're like, we were condescended, this and that. So the United States has been kicked out of Niger, and the Russians have been invited in because of arrogant, stupid faux pas like that. That just there's no adult in the room right now. There's just nobody's minding the store. It's really scary.
It is kind of scary. I mean, there's a lot going on that we need to pay attention to. So I see South Korea kind of told North Korea, button up or we're going to kick your ass.
I love it.
Kim runs around with his finger up his ass, saying this, saying that, saying this, and then eventually somebody gets mad and says, "Okay, look, that's enough of this, man. I mean, really, that's enough of this." As Chinese invasion looms, only the mighty drone strike Armada can save Taiwan.
Wait, where's that?
Where are they getting that from?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in case y'all didn't know, we've been producing drones, so I don't know if this shit's classified or not. Anyway, some of our gaming companies that build games for our kids to play in drone companies are building massive amounts of drones for the United States. Massive amounts of drones. It's starting to even sound like we may be considering an all-out drone war. And then I'm not talking these little.
Well, we can't do that because then George Lucas is going to sue the U.S. government because he already did that a couple of years ago.
No, it's
Clone Wars. It's a joke.
Wow.
Drone Wars, Clone Wars.
Yeah, Clone Wars. It's I don't know, but it's we'll see where it all goes. Well, we already know because we watched the guy. If y'all watch the different displays during New Year's and all with the dragons in the skies, and there's all drones. It's not fireworks, people. That's all drones up there.
Yeah, it was an amazing.
Have you seen the
display.
Chinese obstacle course, like the drone obstacle course that they put their military through?
Yeah. So yeah,
they know what they're doing. Like they know what they're doing. They're
these
flying
days,
them through these little keyholes and it is. And we're not doing the same thing. That's what scares the crap out of me.
Well, because we have
into small spaces in buildings and put up a whole bunch of bombs or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a different kind of approach to this, so we're just gonna have to wait and see whose approach is better. But
we're probably just gonna use AI, flood a battle space with those things, and just.
Well, so one of the things they were talking about the other day is we could drop 100,000 of them, all connected through AI, and just watch them wreak havoc on soldiers. So for 100,000 drones, they could probably take out more than 1 million soldiers before you get them all down. That's a whole battlefield. That's gone. That's equipment, people, and what did it cost you? Money, some plastic. I mean, these drones even got to be that sophisticated. That's what's so up about this. We're not talking about really sophisticated drones here. These are just basically autonomous drones that can be either run by hand or put on automatic. They can be armed with machine guns or bombs or both.
But what's this looming invasion thing? That's big.
Yeah, that's what
Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
I mean, is China amassing troops on the Taiwan border?
Yeah,
That's
the one
as
thing. That's the one
Chinese
piece
invasion looms, only a mighty drone armada can save Taiwan. That's what they're talking about. So
Which
in order,
publication is saying
of boats
so
special forces
so
in
in
the
order
area.
for Taiwan to defeat China or to stay safe, they have to build a huge drone population. Let's see, in 2 months, seminar of Taiwan Navy facing imminent Chinese invasion, Ukraine 18-foot explosion, drone boats. Oh shit! So they're talking about. So they're going to build like 100,000 of these drone boats and just park them off their coast. Say, come on, China, come even try to get close. We will just blow you out. Oh, man, I mean, what's China? It doesn't matter. They got 400 ships.
I'll tell you what they're going to do. I mean, I'll tell you what I would do. I would slowly, methodically, over a period of, I don't know, 3 months, send frogmen to just, stick a little, dime-sized.
That's assuming nobody's there to babysit the things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a big assumption there because I don't think the Taiwanians are that stupid. I think they'll be babysitting them. I think they'll probably have drones watching the drones. Is there something in the water there? Watch it.
Who watches the watchers, right?
It's just this could turn into something really interesting, very very strange, very quickly. What do you mean? Just lots of things you can do for drones. People, it's called EMPs, but you can shield for that. I learned when I was in the military, you can shield for EMP.
A napalm thrower, a flamethrower, probably could take out quite a few of them, especially if they're mostly plastic. You burn off those props on those 4 little quad props.
But the ones,
you got to get to the prop though, because they're dropping crap on you, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to come up and get your face, right?
They were showing the drone boats. Some of them even were jet propelled drone boats. Man, they can be hard to stop, especially, and they're all loaded. Just think the whole front of that drone boat's loaded with explosives. If it hits them, it's going to F it up, man. I don't care what it is. It's going to F it up.
They could set it with a proximity type of charge. As soon as it detects a large mass of any kind of metal, boom! It doesn't have to even touch you. Just get near you and boom.
People, I had met the guy. He was one of the keynote speakers at one of the gala events. The guy who originally invented the software for controlling drones. And I often wondered why this shit was ever made public. I mean, it's a serious piece of software, and China and Russia got it from us. So did Iran. That's where they got it from, was us. Now, granted, our software has been upgraded since then, but still, it gave them the ability to do drones. For some reason, though, with the exception of Iran, China and Russia's drones aren't that great. Ukraine
is buying their drones from Iran to use against
Iran.
And here's the thing: if they stole the software from us, then their drones are very vulnerable.
They did because
are highly vulnerable to cyber attack.
Yeah, they did because they shot down that drone that I forgot the name of that big drone over Iran and took it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, most of the key parts were destroyed because we have equipment that does that, but still, some of that stuff was recovered. You can tell because how fast their drone program went after that. Yeah. They had no drone program, and all of a sudden they had a drone program. I'm like, look at this shit. And it just shows how fast. Well, it was our technology, ladies and gents. That's how it is. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we got to get some polls in here. We got to see why what's his name is winning again. What's his name? Joe Biden is winning. Yeah, he's winning the election.
Have lost their friggin' minds.
Now he's
out of what?
Fair and square. Paris would have just 2 minutes to prepare for a nuke attack. Putin allies war, whatever. You just better keep playing around, Putin, with yourself. World War III fears explode as Putin allies chillingly warn U.S. within range of Russian nukes. Yes, but we'll shoot your freaking stupid nukes down long before you get here.
We're in jeopardy of their nukes all the time.
It's you act like this is something new, man. I mean, come on.
For
but anyway,
60 years.
I mean, okay, let's see what's going on here. So, no, we don't care about that. We know he won that already. Mm-hmm. Democratic states seem to be having a hard time making their minds up this year.
No kidding. Gee, who do I pick? The devil I hate or the devil I other hate?
Let's see. I know. Is it the devil in me or the devil out of me? Let's see. Here we go. This is 270. Let's go see what's going on the 270 site. We know last week this was all, let's see. So again, didn't we just read? Now we just read this from Newsweek, I think it was. Trump is leading the national poll. Up, Trump. I mean, up. Mr. Newsweek. This is 270 to win. This is one of the bigger poll companies, and they have the national race with Trump in front. But
By
still,
how many points?
by 2. But there is still 13% undecided.
Going over to Kennedy's side.
So Trumpy, I mean, people, but you see, but it just goes to show you how these poll companies are. They will lie, cheat, and steal to try to make their guy sound good, but they don't understand. It makes them look bad, and people start not trusting the polls, and more people are not trusting polls because they go and instead of just being able to find out what the poll was. What's that, Jenny? No, we used to bitch all the time about. That's why we opened APC up, because we needed to know demographics and who was voting and how many people were voting and where they were voting from. I mean, if you go do a poll in Boston, Massachusetts, in a mall there, it's going to be 80% blue.
Mostly Democrat. Most big cities, you're going to get a larger Democratic.
If Trump's ahead in those places, that means that the Democrats are in big trouble. Anytime you see a red candidate winning in blue states, then you're in trouble. It doesn't really matter what the red states are saying. It only matters what your states are saying. And when you see them in swing states winning, overwhelmingly, you got to worry. So here we go. This is this poll was taken yesterday. This is overall vote for the United States, national vote. Biden 47, Trump 53. Okay, this next one is The Economist. It has Biden up by 1 point. That's U.S. Gov. Next one is Hillstar and Hills College. Trump is up by 3 on the first one, and he's 52-48 on the next one. And let's see, Trump is losing in this poll, so that's 2 so far. Seen him in. The next one is Trump. 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 This one's a tie. This one's a tie. Next one is Trump. Next one is Trump. Oh, this one is Biden. Florida Atlantic University is got Biden ahead by 2 points. It's a lab of some kind. Creel College has Trump winning by like 8 points. League of American Workers has Trump winning by 5 points. What is this? Walton Strategies has Trump winning by 4 points. Redfield has Trump winning by 4 points. All these polls, I mean, as you go through these, I mean, Trump's pretty much ahead in almost every poll. So on this page, we just went through 24 polls. Biden's only ahead in 2. But yet Biden's ahead and he's winning the damn election. Yes, people.
Here's some interesting facts, and this is coming from Vegas. Right now, Trump remains the odds-on favorite at 10-11, and Joe Biden is sitting at 7-4 odds. I'm not sure exactly what those slashes mean, but Vegas has been pretty accurate with their election predictions. So Vegas says it's Trump by a large margin, by the way.
Newsweek says Biden killing Trump by 10 points.
If he got out a gun, maybe.
What happens if Trump doesn't pay that ridiculous $500 million?
Oh, you know
because
what?
He can't come up with the money. Right.
Right now, he's actually losing about 1% there. That's going to be interesting. What happens there? Are you going to?
Oh, it was explained. Oh God, how did it go? I listened to it tonight. What son of a beeswax. I forget how it works, but he's going. They were saying that Trump says, "Go ahead, take the tower, take my stuff, whatever, take it all," and then all automatically it goes up to the federal. Okay, and then the federal steps in, and boom.
This is some Banana Republic shit. I mean,
have you seen how many businesses have left New York over there? So it was originally 3.
Yeah, good.
It's now 11, and there are businesses saying this cannot be allowed to happen. You've got I can't remember his name now. The guy from Starbucks, he hates Trump, And he was like,
Short.
"Oh no,
Schultz.
yeah." He said, "This is no, this is setting a bad precedent. So anybody in New York gets mad at now can just do this." And he said the same thing. And he said, "And why? How can the judge be an appraiser?" He said, "Why wasn't a real appraiser?" And he said, and he actually said this. He said, "And when the bank came in and said, no, we checked him out, that should have been the end of the case, right?"
Right. Right.
When the bank gave the loan to Trump, because I never understood this. So this guy's saying that the bank, the guy who loans these multi-$100 million loans out, didn't know what he was doing, but yet his bank is solvent. The loans are paid. This whole thing just stinks.
Here's
so
the other
bad.
interesting thing is, how did they come up with that number? Do you know that number is very close to what Trump has in his campaign fund?
Oh,
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
How would they know that?
But Trump ain't going to take it as campaign fund because you'll go to
No.
jail.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But you also got to remember too, and I heard that there's like 5 or 6 billionaires that are going to back up Trump for his election.
Well,
Yeah, but how is the Democratic Party finding out how much he has in his campaign fund? Isn't that
Because you have to disclose it, right?
Do you?
So
Okay.
Disclosure.
Yeah, you definitely have to disclose, because if you don't, then everybody's wondering what the hell you're doing. It's at this point, I'm just kind of like, I don't know what's going on here. I mean, cases like this should not be allowed. I mean, when President Vladimir Putin comes out and says, "Oh my God, you're trying to keep a man from getting elected by putting him in court." He went off on this on one of his speeches pretty hard. He said, "We don't have a preference for who wins in your country, but you talk about us cheating, and yet you've got how many cases against this man, which I can just look at and tell are almost all garbage."
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got the rest of the world looking at you going, "Look, what are you doing?" But they don't understand. And the Democrats have gotten slow to learn in their old age. So I told the Democrats and friends of mine, I said, "Don't change it to 50. If you do, the Republicans will use it against you." They did. Every time the Democrats change something and use it against the Republicans, later on, the Republicans use it against them.
Yeah.
And what they don't like, we have swung so far to the left. What they don't understand is that the pendulum goes in the other direction, and it goes into the equal direction in the other direction. So we're going to have some crazy, when this starts swinging to the right, we're going to get out of control on that side too. And I don't think they're thinking through what they're doing.
No,
they're not.
They're panicking. They're panicking, clearly. And it's another argument, Sean, like you just said. It's with the pendulum example. It's another reason to put in a third centralist party.
Okay, now Newsweek says he's leading by. Yeah, we need a centralist party. He said he's leading in 8 polls. We just went through 20 polls. He was leading in 2.
Yeah.
And he was barely leading in 2. See, ladies and gentlemen, but this is the kind of stuff I talk about. I mean, these are just outright lies. I mean, this isn't even trying to be covered up or anything. I'm just going to lie and say my guy's winning, and that's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing.
Well, they're going to have to do it, because when he does win, they won't have to explain it. Because he's going to. Because I wouldn't be surprised if Biden wins, and everybody's going to be like, "How the hell did this happen?" And we're going to be like, "Well, there's 50 million immigrants that came across."
So there's a couple of things out there. I'll pretty much say the same thing. He said, if Biden is to win, when Trump's leading in all the polls, I said it'll probably be a revolution in our country. You're going to have a hard time, because then they're going to try to put him in jail and stuff. It's just not going to go over well. The country's going to lose.
But I think that's a realistic scenario. I think the people like the elites in this country, I think are that crazy. I think there is a chance. I think there's a non-zero chance.
There's a chance. They're going to try, but the problem they're having right now is Georgia and Virginia both turned red, and they're watching the election now because of the shit that's going on.
Pennsylvania is very lavender at this point.
And Pennsylvania's changing. But Pennsylvania, you're going to have to watch. But Nevada's also.
Philadelphia is always corrupt. Like, that's always going to be 100% Democrat.
But it looks like at least 8 of the swing states they took last time, Trump's winning in by 9 or 10 points. So it's going to, if you try to say they went the other way, it's going to be really hard to make people believe that. You're going to have a country going, "Oh no, they were solidly red. Why would they have turned overnight?" It's just, and technically it didn't matter. I mean, Biden had 6 million extra votes over Trump last time, or 8 million extra votes. So it was a solid win anyway it went.
But did he?
Well, that's a case. Did he?
Right, but did he?
At this point, that question is actually moot. So he's in. He's going to be out soon.
Right.
Whether he cheated on it or not is.
But there's a good chance it's completely illegitimate. But yeah, I mean, it's already done. The damage is already done.
And then, but I was talking to some of my Democratic friends. In a way, a lot of them have already regretted this this thing with Biden. Starting all these cases and all this other stuff, because a lot of them think they just want to see him go away. And if it means 4 years of Trump, it means 4 years of Trump. Because if they keep doing all this other shit, it's really making the nation they're losing constituents every year.
You don't think they'll do the scumbag switcheroo?
Well, they're going to try to do a lot of stuff, but their problem is how do you have to save your party at the same time? And right now, their party's very divided. It's divided into three parts right now.
With their party.
Well, when you start seeing like 20% of your party saying, I'm going to vote for Trump or I'm going to vote for third party, you got problems. Yeah. And then AOC's part of the company said they're not voting for Biden this time.
You see, RICO's not a law?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trump must love her. Yeah, no, RICO's not real or shouldn't. Anyway.
I mean, isn't she from New York?
Yep, she's from New York.
Were the RICO statute was basically developed and created?
The capital.
Unbelievable. Unreal.
Yeah. No, we're talking about Alexandria Cortez is who we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. AOC.
Yeah, we got to go to the sun at nighttime. I can't go
out. So let's see. Wait, here's another poll. Let's see. So this is so every time they always do the combination of polls and what the national average is. So in this one, Biden versus Trump, Biden 42.8%, Trump 45.4%. It doesn't sound like he's losing to me. So USO.gov, which is always leaning blue, of course, is blue. It's 1 point ahead. Then there's let's see, Trump. And then Florida Atlantic, which is also leaning blue, that is Biden. He's blue. And then next two are true. Damn, Trump's killing whoever this is. McCullen Associates 49%. Morning Consultant is tied. Yahoo.gov has Trump up by 3 points. That's pretty blue. All the rest of them down here, from Morning Consultant all the way up through US.gov, are all got Trump ahead. First of all, I don't even know where they got the 8 from. Some freaking newspaper somewhere in some little shithole town we've never even heard of or something. I get tired of the lies. I mean, come on, be honest. You guys getting his ass kicked. Admit he's getting his ass kicked, and start working on getting it not being kicked.
Yeah. Don't go find a better candidate.
But then they can't like force him back in power without having a narrative to support it. So they got to build the narrative. That's what they're doing right now.
Let's see if we can find CNN and NBC. Trump tops Biden by 8 points in Michigan poll. Holy crap!
Wow.
Well, that's all Israel, right? Because you have a huge American Arab population there, right? And they're pissed off at Israel.
And that was a swing state last time around, so that's another one he's taking. It's looking. Yeah, Christopher. No, it's looking. I don't know.
How about Wisconsin?
Wisconsin, last time I checked, was more red than it was blue, so it looked like it had flipped.
And one more, Minnesota.
I haven't seen Minnesota. I'd have to go back and look. I haven't really seen it.
Isn't it?
It's usually pretty blue. Normally.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so all right, who do y'all think? So let me look and see how far back this goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So who do you think has the number one rating of a president and the last 11 of presidents? Who was number one?
Reagan.
Nope.
Reagan.
I would think it was Reagan too. Reagan was like 10th. They got Reagan as 10th. So
FDR.
So number one, said 77% approval rating was H.W. Bush, 1991.
Really?
Followed by his son.
Because of the Iraq War, the Persian Gulf War.
Persian
Gulf War.
Followed by his son, W. Bush, at 71% in 2003.
That's when we invaded Iraq.
That's when we invaded Iraq. So a country likes fighting. So the next guy is Eisenhower, 1955 at 70%.
Because he was not, we weren't at war really. Well, there's the Korea thing, but he was a war hero, so that's why he was popular.
And of course, we have Kennedy, 1963 at 66% because he got his freaking brains blown out. That should not be a reason for a president to be on this list.
Yeah. Well, you know, that tells you that's every reason now for Biden to get into a kinetic war with somebody before the election.
Yeah,
So,
it'd boost his numbers for sure.
So number 5 was a president that got impeached. He's number 5.
Nixon.
At 50%, Nixon is number 5. Followed by Obama, Clinton, Trump, Biden, Reagan, and Carter.
What?
Yeah, Reagan. I don't know where they got Reagan's.
Why is Reagan down at the bottom?
Reagan is second to last?
At 41%, above Carter at 40%. Biden's is third. Trump's ahead of and Clinton. And yeah, well, anyway. That's some bullshit. Yeah.
That's some wacky stuff.
I'm not believing that poll complete. I'm picking and choosing what I like about that.
Yeah, that's not a good poll.
I'm taking it. Who is? Oh, we're on CNN. Oh, okay.
With their audience of like 10 people. We got it.
Yeah,
okay, CNN.
Call-in vote thing.
The latest CNN poll of polls, which includes new CBS polls, finds that President Joe Biden's approval rating among all adults stands at 41%. His disapproval rating stands at 56%.
Wow.
That means only 3% of the country's undecided, and you know they lean in the other way. Yeah. I would think it was a little lower than that, but we'll let it slide at 41 because this is CNN after all. Let's see. Biden is tied for the second lowest approval rating of any president in the past 70 years.
Who was above him?
Jimmy Carter.
Carter? Still?
He was tied with Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, both had like stagflation. Like both.
Yeah. It's poor Carter. Never caught a break. We love you, Carter. Yes, we do. Even though you were, saw UFOs and was a very weird president.
He had the most solid like credentials for being a president before becoming a president.
And a lot of people thought he was a country bumpkin. He wasn't. He was an actual nuclear physical engineer. He ran nuclear power plants on submarines.
Yeah, he's a nuclear engineer. Yeah, propulsion engineer, right?
Yeah,
or whatever Yeah, he's a naval officer, degree from the Naval Academy. He was a governor of Georgia. Like he was
one of the first nuclear engineers ever. Great dude. Did some really good stuff. He just got a bad rap all the way across. It was the hickiness of him. Peanut farmer, his idiot brother.
It was the Islamic Revolution in Iran and Desert War.
Yeah. Well, that was the big
stagflation and like, the oil crisis. I mean, there was
Billy Beer and Billy, his brother, being a nuisance, pain in the ass.
Yeah, a lot of He
had a lot going for him and a lot going against him, unfortunately.
So at least CNN kind of admits the fact that Joe Biden is losing. Let's see if we can find an NSNBC poll. We got to always.
They're bound to be wrong.
Well, no. Lately, they've been siding on Biden. I mean,
but you know what? The only worse thing than Biden is Slick Newsom. They're gonna do a switcheroo, but Slick in charge. And then after that, we're screwed. I mean, that guy.
Or give him a high cabinet place, and then there's an accident, and then all of a sudden he's president.
That's what happened to John Kennedy Jr., buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I know that plane didn't go down. No, that's what happened. That's how Hillary got in.
Yeah, they said that his plane went down with equipment failure equipment failure. I don't think that's the case. The man's a rich man. Why would he buy a piece of junk plane?
Exactly. And then the minute because he was running against Hillary.
Yes.
And so when he died, Hillary just filled his shoes. That's how that happened. And that's how she got in.
That woman has like a contract with Lucifer or something.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
That's all. Just anybody who's surrounding her just meets.
All of a sudden, dead.
They get unalived. We have to say it right.
Unalived.
Yeah.
Oh Lordy.
Suicided.
Yeah.
Oh, look, innocent BNC won't even put up a poll. Chicken shits. They won't even put up a poll. All they put up is things like, "Oh, just because he's winning big right now and his poll number is high, I don't think that's going to translate to November." Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah, get ready. Get used to saying President Newsom.
It's
slime ball in chief. He's going to bring all the wonders and splendors he did for California to the rest of the nation.
That would be an absolute shit show, 100%.
Yep. And the guy's just a complete, like, narcissistic sociopath. Like, he'll just,
he sounds perfect for the role.
Destroys the middle of the United States. Everything's fine. No one died. We're good. I feel fantastic.
He'd make a good counterpoint to Putin. Another arrogant SOB.
I would rather have Putin, to be honest.
Yeah,
Putin is at least arrogant, but Putin is competent. Like Newsom's not competent. He's just he's just a highly skilled liar and smooth talker. That's all he does.
Let's see. Opinion MSNBC. Joe Biden has a much stronger chance than Americans believe. Well, Americans are the ones going to be voting, dumbass.
If you could control, like, pulling the lever and, like, flooding the battle space with fake ballots, sure.
Well, all the red states and a lot of the swing states are now going to make sure that they have X amount of people watching. It doesn't really matter if the blue states cheat because it's about delegates. So they can get as many people as they want to vote. They just, as long as those swing states are being watched, and they're going to have to be watched. There's no doubt that there's going to be some cheating going on here. None whatsoever.
We also got the imported illegal aliens that said that they can vote. And then just recently there was a blurb on, I don't forget which one it was, but some judge announced that illegal aliens have rights to the Second Amendment and can own firearms. That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea too.
Well, I mean, they're going to get them anyway. Their first act on U.S. soil was to break the law, so does it really matter if they have a right or not? They're just going to get them anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
you only have to worry about the laws being enforced on you if you're a Native American. If you were born here and you're an American citizen. But if you're not an American citizen, hey, credit card, hotel room, some free food, everything's good.
We'll set you up with your own 7-Eleven for income.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, what? Who is this saying this? NBC, get the hell out of here.
MSNBC.
Look at this.
NBC.
November of 23, 46%. Now Trump 47%. Biden 44% back a year ago. Ooh, 42%. That's a 5-point lead. That's way over the average. That's guys. Y'all look. I haven't clicked it on. We're gonna let the guy talk. He's gonna try to talk y'all. This is bullshit poll. Listen, but. This is an NBC News poll. Okay, Biden's approval rating slips to lowest point in president. Yeah, whatever. He's a. Let's see what they have to say there. How long is this? 5 minutes? We can listen.
NBC's Steve Kornacki is at the big board with all.
This clip is given to us by NBC, by the way.
About this poll, and NBC News' Mike Bentley
here we go. Here's a hater
Vegas,
for sure.
Where he's been following President Biden. So, Steve, I have to come to you and this board.
The physiognomy
it's pretty
alone
brutal when you look at this poll. So, tell us a little bit about these numbers.
Yeah, I mean, from the president's standpoint, certainly it's concerning to be behind Donald Trump at all, certainly by 5 points. Ooh. That's the largest lead Trump's ever had over Biden in our polling. And I think what's more concerning from Biden's standpoint would probably be the overall trajectory of this. And I'm talking over the course of years, because we started polling Biden-Trump matchups back in October of 2019. Our very first poll back then had Biden ahead of Trump by 9 points. And you could see all the way 12 polls in the 2020 election cycle that we took. Biden led in every single one of them. It never got closer than 6. The lead we tracked as high as 14 for Joe Biden. Of course, Biden ended up winning the popular vote by about 4.5 points. That was 2019. That was 2020. Now, this is our 4th poll this cycle. Starting, last June, we had Biden ahead by 4. That already was closer than any poll from 2020. And then from there, it went to a tie in the fall. It went to a slight Trump lead in November. And now, as you say, a Trump lead of 5 points. So not only is the entire political and polling atmosphere very different from what we saw in 2019 and 2020, even within that, there's a trend here that's developing in our poll where the news is getting worse for Biden, from a 4-point lead to a 5-point deficit now over the matter of 9 months or so. The approval rating has a lot to do with that. You mentioned 37%, the lowest we've ever recorded Biden at in our poll, the lowest any president's clocked in at since the end days of the George W. Bush administration back in 07 and 08. And then there's this. This is previous incumbents seeking re-election like Biden is now. Where were they in our poll at this same point, at the start of their re-election year? And you could see a big difference. George W. Bush, 54% approval. He won re-election in 04. Barack Obama, 49, won re-election. Trump was at 46 at the start of 2020, lost re-election. And here's Biden, 9 points under where Trump was. The only two incumbents seeking re-election who have a number this low or even lower. You got to go back to George Bush Sr. in 92, Jimmy Carter in 1980. Those are not good precedents if you're the Biden White House.
Yes, because they both got their asses kicked.
Ask folks what's the most important to them on the economy. Trump with a 22-point edge over Biden on securing the border, a 35-point edge. Right now, Trump over Biden on that. And then there's this. The necessary mental and physical health to be president. We were checking this out.
There you go. That's the
telltale. It was basically a wash back then. 41 said Trump had it. 38 said Biden. Look at this now. 46% say Trump has the necessary mental, physical health. Only half that number for Joe Biden. And finally, I think this may be the most concerning of all for Biden. It's the simple question of competency and effectiveness, asking which candidate has the competency and effectiveness to be president. In 2020,
you're stabbing your own guy pretty deep here,
and
man.
He led Trump when we asked this question in 2020 by almost 10 points. Now,
maybe
Trump
they're trying to save themselves from these billions.
16 points, just a
they're scared to death.
Reversal on that basic question of competency.
And Steve, the more you talk, the worse it seemed to get for President Biden. That being said, is there any news in here that would be good things that President Biden could point to?
Yeah, there are a couple things. I mean, there's the economy just in terms of people's perceptions of where the economy is going. We have some indications that may be getting less negative, maybe getting more positive. The Biden folks certainly hoping that there'll be a drumbeat of positive economic news this year, and that at some point that'll really attach itself to his approval rating, tick him up there,
it's not a
tick him up
method.
in the head-to-head with Trump. And then there's also this. Look at some of the weaknesses Biden has in our poll right now. Young voters, they were a big part of his coalition in 2020. We got a 42-42 tie, Biden and Trump. That's not good news for Biden. But the real issue here is there's a lack of enthusiasm and engagement, enthusiasm just to vote at
Black's
all
going to be hiding that
age group in our poll. The Biden folks are hoping that as the election nears, that interest level will rise.
Holy
and while
crap.
Young voters do not have generally favorable views of Biden,
I'd call your friends at NBC and say, get that damn poll down immediately.
The Biden folks hope that as young voters get more engaged in this, they'll ultimately decide basically they more want to vote against Trump.
They're literally
triggering
them.
Biden.
Their entire audience is literally shaking.
You also look here, the Hispanic vote, basically even, Trump ahead by 1 point. That's something Republicans have been talking up the possibility of. They've got to like that. Among African Americans, this is a solid lead.
That's got to be wrong.
75-16%, but Democrats want to do better than that.
No, it's usually 90%.
It is, but it's been dropping. Trump's been taking them away slowly, and it's actually going to be worse. So
that's where they would see opportunities for growth sort of demographically.
Well, Steve, thank you very much. We appreciate it, Steve. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
You got to do an ABC poll. I want to see that David Muir fucking eat crow, man. I hate that. I hate that bastard.
What is
ABC?
Wait, what is this one came out right quick?
A message from Mississippi Faith Leaders.
Oh,
it's a moral issue whether people
don't give away free advertisement, Mississippi Faith Leaders. I'm going to have to send you a bill for this advertisement.
That we expand access.
If it goes more than 10 seconds, this is like 10 grand, man. You better get it under control. Oh man, you better get it.
New 2024 polling shows a neck-and-neck race between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. According to the latest numbers from Reuters and Ipsos, Trump leads Biden by 2 points, 38% to 36%
we
among
just watched
all
this and
adults.
We know it's better.
That is within the poll's margin of error. Reuters adds, quote, in the 7 states where
they're using the margin of error excuse.
In 2020, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, North Carolina, and Michigan, Biden had a 4-point lead among Americans who said they were sure to vote. But when Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is on the ballot, Trump's lead over Biden expands to 5 points, 36% to 31%, while Kennedy nets 16% of the vote.
Well, we thought we'd let y'all hear that from them people. I just don't know what to tell y'all. It's it's like what can I say?
It's a circus.
Let's see ABC. We still got a couple minutes here. Let's see. We got ABC, CBS. Let's see which one pops up. Look, people. Look, anytime NBC has the balls to go out and say that Biden's losing by 5, and remember, this is a current poll. This is today's poll.
Yeah.
I would just don't. Trump edges out Biden 51-42 in head-to-head matchup poll. This is ABC. Now, remember, we started this conversation out tonight that Newsweek said 8 polls he was winning in, which we have not been able to find yet.
8.
We've only found 2. Yeah, so far we found 2 that he's actually winning in. I'm not sure what to tell you. Let's see what we got here. This is what it's killing. Approval rating on the border 23%. Disapproval rating of his job performance 37%. I mean, I don't know how he's gonna. There's some of this I just don't know how he's gonna get out of. There's no real way for him to get out of. But Trump edges out by. I like how he says edges. That's 9 points. That's not edging. That's getting bitch slapped is what that is. How do you get edging out of that? I'm just asking. I'm kind of confused. Oh, he's edging out. I mean,
edging out would be like a 2-point lead or a 3-point.
Yeah,
lead.
I mean,
edging out is a mostly peaceful protest.
Yes, this is. I got bitch slapped because I got bitch slapped. Let's see if we can find something with CBS. Maybe CBS will give him some. This was like looking for Trump numbers in 2020 when everything was always against him. It's people don't laugh. It's true. Let's see. Wait, this is a different one. Michigan, Trump, Biden, Trump by 8. Tie, Trump by 6, Trump by 2, tie. Okay. Trump. Oh, here we go. Nope, that's Baldwin's got that. No, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. This is unless Trump does something stupid, which
goes to jail,
or goes to jail because we do still have 5, 6, 7 months.
But there are only 2 active suits now. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know what's going to go on. They're still fighting the thing with Georgia, so I don't know what's going to happen there. And that's just a mess in itself. And because they made her boyfriend step down, but for some reason,
judge eliminated her. She's not allowed to be on.
Well, I don't know. Last time I heard, she was still going to be on it, so I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Stuff goes around, swings around. Fox, Vegas, all these people are pretty much saying that it's going to be Trump. So, like I said, unless he does something stupid.
Here's a weird one. Americans don't want Trump. Biden rematch for 2024. Yeah. Who else are we going to pick?
Well, I'm not, I'm not even arguing the fact that, Americans feel like they're stuck picking between, 2 crazy people. But
yeah, I mean, I agree with that statement. None of us want them in there, but who are you going to put in there? There's no one
Randy, all I can say is I made far more money under Trump than I did under.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Generally, I make more money under a Democrat, which is weird. Like when Clinton was president, Obama was president, I was making good money. But this guy, I don't even know what to tell you. This guy sucks.
Clinton era was good for the economy.
Nobody I know wants to spend any money. None of my customers want to spend any money. They're all paranoid because the insurance companies, the Democrats allow the insurance companies to double and even triple, not just commercial insurances, but homeowners. I'm like, really? Somebody needs to break, because I mean, if it keeps going up, I'll have to sell my house because I won't be able to start paying $20,000 in insurance for this house. I'll be like, what are you, crazy? It's just they're to the point now where it's insane.
For an example, if your house is $1 million, it shouldn't cost you $1 million to insure it.
That's right. My insurance doubled. My homeowners went from $4,600 to $11,000.
Wow.
And that's nothing. Like the guy, one of my customers, he was paying $4.5 million. He's now paying $12.2 million. It's so he's not even making profit on his properties now. So he's got to think about what he's going to do. You know, he had remodels and stuff he wanted to do to get his rents up. Now he's not going to be able to do that to get the rents up because he's not going to be making, you know, big money. He's not the only one. I mean, just a lot of I was talking to a customer the other day on his business. He owns a feed company on his business. His insurance went up 62%. I mean, nobody's profit margin is 62%. I mean, most companies
not even the Home Depot or Lowe's have that big of a profit.
No, most companies have a 15%, maybe 30% if you're really good at what you do, but usually about 15% is what you're going to have. And in big companies, that's a lot of money. We're not saying it's not a lot of money. In a multi-billion-dollar company, it's still a lot of money, but they can't keep taking hits like this.
Mm-mm.
And it's not just that. Think about like you said with Lowe's. So all the Lowe's is down here now. Their insurance tripled.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
And you know what that's going to do? They're just going to pass that on to the customer.
Yeah.
And that's just exactly how that's going to happen. We're just all going to get that.
Why is it tripling? Is it because of the weather? Is it because of the?
No, it's all over the country.
Crime? Is it because of the crime?
Well, for Lowe's and Joe's area, it may also be because of the type of weather they could get, hurricanes and whatnot. And that's why it went up a little higher. But if it's going across the country, it's businesses are going to have to fold. You can't spend 62% of profit you don't get on insurance.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's just all over the United States. Homeowners is going up through the roof, and a lot of them are saying it's because there are weather changes and weather patterns all over the United States changing, which is true. But it doesn't mean, you still got to stay in business. And if you put everybody out of business, I said this to one of the insurance people. I said, they're going to put y'all out of a job. And she's like, what do you mean? We got record profits. I said, yeah, now until everybody quits paying and said, screw off. And because they can't pay it anymore. And I said, you're just going to end up bankrupt. It's what was that? No, Christopher. No, not tonight. We ain't got time for that. Somebody sent me something about a supersonic plane that we had that was faster than the Concorde.
That's next week, maybe.
That's next week. Yes. No, we're getting ready to get out of here. Scientists just created the strongest magnetic field in the force in the universe. Oh, well, we'll have to read that one of these days. That sounds interesting.
They don't draw a black hole to the planet.
Putin's actually said several comments about our political environment in the United States. He thinks that there's a lot of bullshit going on.
He's absolutely right.
Wait, what? See, what's going on with this? This was something bullshit that went on the other day. Hold on, let me pull this up where I can actually read it. The court reverses ruling. Malargo judge largely sides with Jack Smith's request to redact substance and delete classified info from discovery, but still leaves issues. Wait, what?
I did not understand that.
I didn't need this. I don't feel bad. I'm reading it right now to see if it even makes any sense. Well, Jack Smith is the guy who's brought the indictments or special counsel, or whatever the hell he is. But lately he's been getting slapped around by different courts. He's been having a hard time keeping his cases. So it looks like they're going to make him take away some of the stuff on Trump's case. The other day, they told him they had to get rid of 4 of the 6 charges against him. He had to go, or 3 of them had to go away. And now it looks like they're going to make him take more stuff away. So Trump told the Supreme Court that he didn't consider himself to be completely immune, but there has to be some operational this, that, and the other thing for presidents when they get out because they know this stuff, and some of this stuff is still on working. So I don't know if Supreme Court is going to side with him or not, but it's going to take him a while. So I don't think anybody's got to worry about it anytime soon. And what can you do? But anyway, we're going to get out of here in just a second as soon as I can find out where everybody went off to. What the hell, man? There we go. I lost the studio completely. I didn't even know what I did with it.
Oh, shit.
Yes, I was like, I know I had the studio here just a second ago. What's that, Jimmy? No, we got to go. We got to go. What? You can apply to live in China? Yeah, anybody can apply to live in China. Sure, man. I don't I don't think they care. Yeah, I don't know if they'll let you in or not, but you can sure apply.
You can certainly
if you
look
want
for
your bowel
jobs.
movement, every bowel movement tracked,
Yes.
Yeah, and there are plenty of jobs for Americans to come over there and teach English. At least through the 90s and early 2000s, they were gung ho hiring Americans to come over and teach English.
But if they invade Taiwan, they'll probably send you to a prison camp. But risks.
That's right, baby. You gotta be careful now. No. One last. What about ET? No, you have to save that for another show. Save that for
Wednesday night.
Wednesday, yeah. Save it for Wednesday. Leah will probably be back with us Wednesday. No, she was wore out when I talked to her earlier. She wanted to come, and then she was kind of tired, so I told her to just take the night off. We had plenty of hosts, and we also had Dave joining us tonight as a backup Lanyap host. And no. But anyway, we're gonna go. Y'all can all go do whatever the hell y'all gonna go do. I'm gonna go make me a ham and Swiss cheese sandwich.
I'm getting some food too.
Yes, me too.
No, I'm serious. I'm gonna go make me a what? What are you sending me? Hold on, let me see. What is this? What do you want me to play? I don't know what this is, but I'll play it. How's that? Just so you don't bug me anymore, okay? No, seriously, just so you don't bug me anymore. I'm gonna put in a Q&A as we leave, and I will throw it on. And if it's horrible, at least I can take my things out of my ear. I'm just trying to be honest. Okay, I see some weird looking chick here, but okay. But again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and News on the Flip Side. Be sure to catch the Shawns on Sunday. They are just wreaking general havoc over there. I don't know, causing all kinds of stuff. Michelle said some bitch has to go slap them around or something. I'm not sure what that's about.
Got to keep them boys in line.
And then of course you can catch the Sean Kelly back on Tuesdays, getting in trouble.
Always.
Jay's here sometimes. It's on Wednesdays and Fridays, and double on Fridays.
Yeah, well, the next 3 Fridays I'm not on the Church of Mavis, but I do Church of Mavis then this one, so it's like I'm on here for 5 hours.
Yeah, so he's doubling up, and of course I'm here Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. As a matter of fact, we're going to have David Hankins with us tomorrow. John and I will be talking about Death and the Taxman, his new novel he's got out, and y'all can come listen to that way kind of wacky, weird, kind of strange novel he posted. Actually, it was originally the original story that won him. Writers of the Future. They got him into Writers of the Future. But anyway, we'll be talking about that as well. Actually, we've been playing special. The Gray Zone's been playing early from 1 to 3. No, I'm sorry, from 11 to 1 on Sundays. It's a little treat if people know it's there. Yes. Yeah. So we've been letting it play because you can't find them anywhere. They're not posted anywhere. Yeah, the only way you can usually get them is to purchase them or catch them whenever we happen to play them. And there's about 70 of those all together. Really good shows. But on that note, good night. Stay out of trouble. Don't do things that I would do because it'll probably get you into trouble. On that note, I'll see everybody in a couple of days, guys. Well, if I can ever find the music again.
Godsmack.